Okay, we are live. Welcome back, everyone.
So how many times do you want me to roll my secret? Do you want to have it rolled for each month or just the one time?
No, you only roll it. It's for the set. It's per session. It's not. It has nothing to do with how much time has passed.
And I guess you should make rolls for enemies and stuff like that as well.
I don't have any enemies. They're all dead.
So, welcome everyone. Today we are continuing our Shadowrun missions series of adventures. We are playing Mission 9, which is titled Assassination. This adventure will take place some several months after our previous mission, and right now we are just working through some cost of living stuff. So 3 months have effectively passed since the last mission, requiring cost of living expenses to be paid. That is $600 for each person per month, including job roles for those people that have regular jobs to earn income. They will need to be made as well. So I'll get firstly the job roles from those people. So Gorgo, you had a job selling drugs. So can I get 3 streetwise roles from you, please?
Right, that's what I was doing.
Oh, did you not roll those already?
He did, but it didn't count since we went live.
Damn it! Yeah, I gotta roll them again.
So 3 streetwise roles, 3 computer programming roles from Frost. And if other people have jobs,
mine is. Yeah, because remember, I was thinking about potentially having a job as a cop outside of the city, like a sheriff something.
well, you could certainly be a cop inside the city. You just don't, because there is private police. Knight Errant just have the contract to police the city itself.
What is the job role for that?
I guess it would be
professional skill.
I do. I think. Yeah, but it's not cop related. It's tradecraft,
isn't it? Oh. Well, I guess if you're doing cop stuff, you probably have a professional skill. Maybe.
Okay, so I need to make a note of that. I need to pick up professional skill law enforcement then.
Actually, I do have GURPS cops. One moment, you'll have the job table in there.
I'm cycling through that, and I don't see a job skill. I don't see a job table.
Not in 4th edition.
No, it's in 3rd edition.
What are you looking at?
GURPS cops.
Yeah, there's no job table in GURPS cops. Those are only in setting books.
Another role which would probably be relevant to cops is administration, since cops really are just pushing paper.
Let's see, what do I have?
Depends on the cop.
Criminology. I'm trying to see the ones that are appropriate. Obviously the guns, but that's probably not something you actually want to use.
Criminology could work, so you're a detective more than a cop.
Right. And you said 3.
Yes.
Well, that's bad. I think I just got fired in the first week.
Critical failure on job role is you lose your job.
It's because I was fighting insects. They didn't believe me. Plus, I didn't have the proper professional skill.
Who did he work for?
Doesn't matter. I don't work there anymore.
You worked for
if it was
Cuffs.
Knight Errant, he could go to work for Knight Errant.
You worked for Cuffs, whatever his department was called.
So there is one thing I would like to do is I would like to design a designer drug that is less addictive and less harmful, but gives the person the same high and is not as harmful as normal drugs.
Okay, that's a lengthy process.
That by now. But yeah.
That's a lengthy process, and you have to go through prototypes and stuff like that. Unless, of course, you have quick...
it's
quick gadget here?
I do have chemistry. I have pharmacy at 17. I have
not something
poisons. I have...
Yeah, there's a process for designing things like that. And specifically with drugs, I remember there's a specific design drugs procedure.
We can tackle that in the boards if that's something that your character is going to be doing. And we can also take into account that it's been
3 months.
Well, two and a half months in actual time. But we've
maybe even longer than that.
That's not going to be a remotely enough time. Because do you guys remember? I had to track that kind of stuff down with in Traveler because
right. Is that where we ran into that?
Yeah. Because Abe was like, "I'm going to do some science!" with an exclamation point, and it's like, yeah, that takes a really long time.
Daniel, you're our mentat. Which book is the job stuff in? 1 or 2?
Page 516 of the basic, because I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, there's not a job table. It basically just says you figure out what your prereq is and you roll against that.
No, I'm trying to work out the cost of living for status 1.
Status 1.
For mid-level corporate executive, it mentions administration and leadership. Would I need to roll both, or just my best of the two?
The best of the two.
Okay.
The cost of living stuff is early in the book. Like that first chapter. Stand by. Thought it was. Apparently I'm smoking crack. Where the hell is it?
Is there a list of the jobs? I thought there was. Because I'm now looking at Basic 518 about finding a job since I've apparently gotten fired.
I found the job list on the general discussion in the boards for the campaign, and it's on page 1.
Oh, okay. I didn't look at that. I should look at that.
Cost of living for status 1 is $1,200.
Alright, so you'll have to pay $3,600 for 3 months of cost of living.
And then how much would I make?
You would make... you're not you don't have wealth at all?
I do not know.
Does the job table indicate any details on what wealth level it's at?
It just says comfortable. And that's the line I put in the chat is what it has for in the table on the boards.
All right, so
okay.
since you don't have comfortable, you're only paid half that.
Okay.
What's the minus LI 2D / minus LI?
Oh, what was that?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Remember the LJ at the end is lost job. I think those are all results of failure. Lost income.
Wow, that
I think
means
it's lost income.
I don't lose the job. I'm just suspended.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Which I guess probably sort of makes sense, as there's like police unions and all that.
Okay, so
Yeah,
roll.
I don't recall how the lost income worked, whether that was multiple or you just lose that month.
You're supposed to be the one that remembers all this crap.
Hey, that's 3rd edition.
You're supposed to remember all this crap.
You failed Mentat.
You have failed this RPG group.
You have not drank the juice of Safu.
My thoughts have not acquired speed. My lips have not acquired stain. My stain has not become a warning.
All right, so roll a d6 to see how many months you got suspended for. 6 months.
Oh, jeez.
Damn.
Wow. Damn, you shot somebody in the face.
I may have shot somebody in the head. He was going for a gun, and it turned out to be a taser. Mine didn't.
All right, so you're not going to work until December. Actually, no. March.
Yeah.
Because it was the first month that you failed.
It was the first one, yeah.
Yeah, so December. You're not going back to work.
Ooh, yeah.
Welcome to the first day of the rest of your suspension.
So by the end of it, you're going to look like Thor in Avengers.
No, I can't see him looking like Thor.
No, he's gonna get he's gonna get his old partner come visiting and hey, you working there, Frey?
Nice.
All right, so has everyone sorted out their finances? Spent their cost of living?
I think
Yep.
so.
Such as they are.
Yeah, I had apparently miscalculated my cash on hand, and I had a lot more.
Well, I have a lot left.
During this time, is there anything in particular that your characters are doing? You've also had several months of, on-the-job training, so time spent, you can add those up, and you would have extra points.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's
No,
actually
we
something I
don't.
did forget about.
We don't have a thing for that.
When you mean
Need
by
to
extra
get one.
points, would that be 4 extra points?
Since you have a job, 4 hours a day doing your job
It's easier
will
to
count.
do.
Yeah, we have
Takes
a
a while to get a point.
spreadsheet,
It
but 4
takes
hours a
2.5
day
hours.
counts as. No, a day's job counts as 4 hours towards training.
It takes 100 days to get a point with on the job, and that's if you're working 7 days a week. Well, I guess it takes 100 days, however you break it up. So you're probably not there yet.
Yeah, you've had. What have we got? 62 plus 6. You've had 68 days of downtime. So, probably something to look at in the boards later on. So, that can all add up to points. And
272 hours.
Yes. Is that right? Yeah. Well, no, because you're gonna have weekends in there too. Yeah. I will get a thing up on the spreadsheet so we can sort that out. I guess now we may actually get some use out of it here. So
basically, we're looking at a job 5 days a week, 4 hours a day.
yeah, on the job counts as 2 hours a day against, and that goes toward any of your job related skills, so it doesn't necessarily have to all go to one of them.
So streetwise would definitely work for Gorgo.
But he could also apply it to chemistry, probably.
Yep.
Well, that's assuming he's actually making the drugs, not just buying them.
I might be tinkering with them to make them less harmful.
Yeah, that might be a hobby thing. Or, yeah, if you're going to do the designer drug thing, then you could probably devote some time to that as well. But that is definitely a spreadsheet thing. That's something we want him to do in the middle of the game.
So let's get going with the game. What's our next adventure?
This is part of the game.
So, do you guys do anything during that time? Anything of special importance? We'll start with Frost.
Well, since I started.
Making
yeah,
noises.
I don't think so.
Okay. Gorgo.
Basically,
oh, sorry.
Basically nixed my possibility of breaking into that bank account and snagging the money for my parents' house, so I can't do that.
Maybe you're working on a plan, but it's going to take time.
If it's not going to be just nixed outright by the powers that be, then I will be making plans on getting. That was the what was that GURPS? The racist guys.
Oh,
Humanist
right.
Polyclub.
Yeah, it was the guy that worked for them that I was getting into his account because we had all his account info.
Well, if you're going to be screwing them over, you can probably count me in.
Undoubtedly.
Brian's like, no, my adventures. We're like, oh, we're going over that way.
All right, so Gorgo, during the 2 and a bit months downtime that you've got, you're obviously selling some drugs. You're, peddling your business. Is there anything else of special note?
Business, Otherwise, they may take my daughter again.
I wonder if Gorgo needs to turn CI on all the druggies.
Well, I could use that if I hadn't been suspended.
Maybe you did use that, and now you're suspended.
Wait, you're about to? You said Gorgo's about to pay off his secret thing.
That's my plan. I eventually want to pay off the
after
secret.
this session, is it going to be after this session that it's gone?
Yes, that's the idea.
So that's clearly what happened. Is you turned CI, and I may have killed some people.
Possibly. And then I lost. Then I no longer have.
And you're like, oh darn! Everybody's gone. I can go back to being a regular person again.
But then might be able to get my job back with the dock wagon, so
Indeed.
start working for them again.
Okay, so nothing special from Gorgo?
No, unless I gained enough skills to maybe up my streetwise with time on the job.
Don't think that would be enough.
No, not yet.
Shard, in your downtime, is there anything special that you're doing?
I think I would have made some mana stones.
And hitting on the hottie in marketing.
I mean, if there's time.
Which one?
Actually, what corporation do you work for?
I was thinking, since I know they have a big presence in Seattle, Aztec.
I thought you were a fan of
Everybody
Renraku.
has a
No,
presence there.
Renraku. Yes, Renraku. That was it. Because I'm a fan of the Renraku hockey team. Yep, it's Renraku.
Do you live in the arcology?
I think I would. You know, we got all the kinks worked out after that one thing that happened. So you know, it's all good now. Totally fine.
So you live in that giant ass pyramid.
Yeah.
You got a nice view of the city, that's for sure.
It's true.
Okay, one of the giant ass pyramids. The gianter ass pyramid.
So, anything special?
No, as I mentioned, the only thing that would have been special is if I can make mana stones for a bit cheaper than buying them, I probably would have done that.
You can, but you would need to have the enchantment ability. And to get enchantment, you need the prerequisite one spell from 10 different colleges. So
I do have the enchant spell, along with charge power stone and power stone, if those are relevant.
All right. Well, and you have the prereqs.
The 10 spells in different colleges and such. 95% sure.
Okay. Cool. Well, then you could. So you could make mana stones. I won't make you roll. Normally you'd have to make a roll on your enchantment every day. Every day every time you succeed, you increase the pointage worth. When you fail, as long as it's not a critical fail, when you fail, that determines the max level of that power stone.
Okay.
So you could potentially have spent some time on that, but you have been doing your regular job. So the only times that you don't have to work are weekends. So you have, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 days that you potentially could have been doing power stones.
Okay.
That
Right.
actually reminds me, I'm not going to do it now, but at some point I would probably save quite a bit of money by writing my own programs instead of buying them outright.
Potentially, yes. Frey, so in the first month you lost your job, then what did you do?
I got suspended.
Oh, you got
for
suspended.
the job.
How did you get suspended? What did you do?
Actually, he's probably being
Gangbusters
investigated.
went bad.
Probably being investigated by IA.
I don't know if it would have been killing someone, because then you'd probably be up for murder and shit.
Well, it depends. I mean, they were going for a gun.
Yeah, but then once that, if they weren't actually going for a gun, you'd end up going for murder and stuff. after the investigation was finalised. So
Yeah,
you shot them in the leg or
wondering-
something like that.
Yeah, that might be easier to work with.
Or you beat the
Yeah,
living
yeah.
crap out of someone.
No, he's mostly a gun guy. I can fight, but he's more of a gun guy. Yeah, so he got suspended. He is spending more time than he would like to at the gun range, at the cop bars, probably doing moonlighting for some additional runs that aren't counting towards this stuff, and realizing he's not very good at not doing something or not having anything to do, and also checking his frickin' accounts as they consistently drain down.
And you, since you rolled a critical fail on your job roll, I imagine that would have been suspended without pay.
Well, I did not apply pay at all from then to now.
Okay,
So sounds like it was suspended without pay. That's why he's probably doing, moonlighting and stuff.
Are we kind of contacting each other during this time, or do we ignore each other during these 2
Probably
months?
not, unless you've developed some kind of rapport with somebody that we hadn't established. Probably not talking to each other.
there is certainly the opportunity. Well, you guys will probably be doing other jobs along the way. So, there have been other jobs that have taken place. They just are not part of the main sort of story arc.
Well, I do have sense of duty to the team, so if I ever heard of a phrase, lack
Nah.
of money, I would help them out financially.
I'm not in that regard yet.
I'm just saying.
Hell,
if
I don't even
if I heard
know
about
if
it,
you guys have any. Yeah, I don't even know if you guys have any idea what I do,
That's true. We probably don't.
other than shoot people.
And that's generally frowned upon in the police departments.
well, the other job I would also be
Depends on-
doing, just the other job I'd be doing on the side beyond selling drugs, which I'm forced to do, is I'd be offering my medical skills on the street.
Street dog.
Correct.
Yeah. Which he'd probably continue doing after his secret's no longer a thing.
That's what I would be doing after that. Become basically either to see if I could work for Dock Wagon on the side or be a street dog.
Well, you won't be able to work for Dock Wagon on the side. That would be an actual, contracted job. But street dock, definitely.
Okay.
So you'll have people coming to you. You've got surgery as a skill?
Oh, I have surgery. I have first aid. I have esoteric medicine. I have,
So there'll be
pharmacy.
people coming to you for, installing illegal cyberware and all sorts of stuff. Since you live in the shadows. What is your moral code? If someone turns up with a liver or an organ for a transplant, do you question where they got it?
I am a higher purpose medic. I do have the criminal action background, but so I'd be if I know anybody, I might treat them, but then I would turn them in as they leave, or possibly as they get see who they are and possibly be like kind of like a CI, in that I would inform the police, hey, this guy came in, he's got a unlicensed liver.
That could potentially be another secret. So your secret selling drugs could instead change to secret ratting on people.
Criminal informant.
Yeah.
Possibly.
That way you wouldn't have to pay or buy off your secret. You just transfer the points for the secret.
When do you roll for allies?
When
I mean,
you
is it
meet
only
them.
when you? Is it only when you're trying to activate them?
Well, that would
I
be the
can't
logical
remember.
time to roll. You could roll
Okay.
at any time, but when you want to activate an ally, then we'll handle the roll.
Groovy. That's cool.
Okay. It must be the end of the world. You wake up from the previous night's shenanigans with only a few bruises and notice an unexpected brightness in your bedroom. A quick peek outside reveals something seldom seen in the sprawl. The sun. Maybe for the first time in who knows how long. Who knows how long. Seattle may actually be able to dry out a bit from the perpetual precipitation it's accumulated over the last... How long has it been?
And then it starts raining.
Maybe you could catch a few rays on the roof. Or, before you could finish that thought, you were interrupted by an incoming call on your comlink. Recognizing the number, you activate the vid screen to see the face of... Just because I want to put the picture up there.
Mhm.
Gosh, I wonder who that's be.
You see the face of Claudia. Staring back at you with their normal talk business to me look on their face. So much for some time in the sun. Got some work for you if you're interested. Seems Mr. Johnson is in need of a quick B&E with an order of data snatch on the side. The money is especially good for this kind of job. And this is because it's a rush. Johnson's a bit on the desperate side though, and a desperate Johnson is a dangerous Johnson, so be careful. Still, you may be able to use it to squeeze a bit more out of him. If you're interested, be at Cuppa Joe's off I-5 in Tacoma in about 2 hours. Ask the half slag behind the counter for a tall regular Joe and a cheese Danish. Do what he says and he'll point you to the Johnson when he shows. Oh, and don't forget to tip well. Yep, so much for enjoying the sun.
Tall regular Joe, and what else?
Cheese Danish.
I could do with a cheese Danish right now.
And then he's going to point to your Johnson.
I'll take public transportation and head on over.
So-
Making sure my daughter is safe first.
Where's
I'm
your daughter?
driving.
In the home,
She's
with
actually a
me.
robot.
She's in my home, so I'll get a babysitter or something like that to keep an eye on her.
Alright, so your standard status. So you inner city or suburban living?
Suburban.
Alright, so you got a reasonable place in suburbia. You leave her on her own, and
No, I'll get a babysitter.
alright. What's your babysitter's name? Who is she?
Syndrome.
Alexandra Appentag.
You could maybe use Katrina.
Katrina, I could. Yeah, she knows. I know Katrina. She trusts me, so why not, Katrina?
She just might drug your kids.
I know enough of psychology to probably trust her. If I know that she would harm her, I wouldn't use her. I'm sure, considering Katrina probably owes us a favor, I'd probably call Katrina. Hey, Katrina, can you keep an eye on my daughter for me?
Sure. I'd be glad to.
You're more than welcome to stay at the house and eat anything out of the fridge. Plus, I'll pay you a reasonable rate.
So she will turn up in half an hour, and she'll have her sister Ruth with her. You don't mind if Ruth stays?
Psychology roll or anything like that to see if they may have any. If I get any fuzzies.
Ruth was the one that was in cocooned.
Yes,
Right.
she was going to be the queen.
Do I have any sense that they might do any harm to my daughter?
No.
Okay, I'm okay with it.
Since you have been like psychologists and stuff, you probably had some contact with them over the time. Since you were there, you're a person that they could talk to decompress a little. You know, they can't talk to normal people because of the nature of what it was.
Sounds good. Sounds like a good end. So Katrina and Ruth as a good babysitter for my daughter. All right, good.
Arriving at Cup of Joe's, you notice the outside of the building is nothing more than a boring-looking white box with a big coffee cup-shaped neon sign on the top. The kitchen's exhaust is conveniently located behind the sign, giving the appearance that the mug is steaming. AR tags create the same effect 24/7 and enhance the image, while the countdown timer lets passers-by know when the next fresh pot or batch of donuts is ready. Inside, however, the building is far from plain. The walls are covered with intricate murals and old-style pictures depicting Seattle's history since its founding. A number of booths line the side and back walls, while the counter/bar has several comfortable stools, most of them currently empty. Half a dozen tables separate the bar and booths. The breakfast crowd has started to dissipate for the day and left the place mostly empty of customers, except for two procrastinating business types with cheap suits, one corp drone with a really bad haircut fiddling his link, some dock workers finishing large omelettes as they talk about getting home, and a couple of knight-errant bike patrol cops munching on jelly donuts. None of them seem terribly interested in anyone else, and they give you a cursory glance, although the two cops seem a bit nervous and occasionally cast wary looks over you. None of you.
Totally gonna give him the guy nod.
You working today?
Well, yeah.
I'll actually go over and I'll say, hey, thank you for your service.
Oh God, he's one of them.
The cops are a little caught off guard and say, thanks. For one moment, the rest of you notice that one of the cops was, cautiously moving his hand to his weapon.
And then I'll go back to the bar and I'll ask for a tall,
still
regular
cutscene.
Joe and a cheese Danish. Sorry.
Too fast.
The staff is already cleaning up after the breakfast mess and preparing for the lunch rush. The kitchen is alive with activity as the sounds of pots and pans mix with dueling voices arguing over what needs to get done and the right way to do it. A pot-bellied dwarf with thick arms and a name tag reading Chip. And with a white stained apron shakes his head at the situation as he works a rag over the counter. The overall mood of the place is casual, calm, and relaxation. So, you were heading up to the bar.
Yes. I would like a tall regular Joe and a cheese Danish, please.
That sounds good. I think I'll have one of those as well.
How much is it?
It'll only cost you your life.
Oh, that's funny.
What's that?
It's totally Trump. Oh, that's funny.
That is too.
I don't know
How
why
long
my
ago was
eyes
this
just
written?
go straight to that. And I'm like, wait a damn minute, that's Trump.
Wait a sec.
Yeah, what year was this?
That's actually pretty cool.
What year was this published?
One moment while I check. It must have been published pre-Trump.
Yeah, it's going to have been published before he was elected POTUS, or even ran for POTUS.
2012.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
All right.
But we
So how much-
digress.
So how much for the coffee and the Danish?
10 creds.
Here's 30 creds. Keep the change.
Actually, I've got some information here for you.
Man, big spender over there.
They said to tip well.
Yeah, that's really, really tipping well.
I got some money to spend. I'm feeling kind of wealthy right now.
Are we
Who's
getting
this?
a text? Oh.
Well, that's just general information. You Google it.
Stands to reason. Interesting. What is sticks at the bottom?
That's all it says.
Huh.
I guess it might be a slang I'm not familiar with.
All right, so getting cheese Danish and that other thing.
Alright, so you all getting the same? He says,
Sure.
so you all have the same?
If you don't mind.
He rubs his chin and drums his finger over an ARO. So this is through your augmented reality. over an ARO that looks like a tip jar. So, do you guys pay a tip?
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
I did 10 for the money and 20 for the tip, so
I'm not rolling in cash, so doing a five tip, that's still 50%. That's still pretty more than I do here.
Yeah, I think I'll do the same.
I'll
Alright,
do
so
a 10 and a 40.
Damn.
scratch off
Big
the
spenders.
monies. Well, the guy says, well, CAF's been on for a while and the Danishes aren't quite done. So tell you what, go take that corner booth in the back. And he points. And I'll get you a fresh pot going. And I'll bring it out to you when they're ready. Should only be a couple of minutes.
all right. We head over to the booth. Have a seat.
Thank him politely.
Can I get a perception roll from... we'll go with Frey and Frost. Okay, now give me an IQ roll, Frost.
All right.
Now,
my
Frost.
success 1.
So yours would have been a success by 1.
Yeah, because I forgot about the visual enhancement stuff I have as well.
And that's running all the time.
As long as I'm wearing my glasses.
In this case, it is not a visual-based perception. This is more a perception to actually notice something. It's not that you can't see it. You can see it. This is more to notice it.
Fine.
However, Frost, you will. You recognize one of the guys sitting in the booth. It is the dude that has the corpse suit that has a bad haircut. He's doing his best to watch you guys while not trying to watch you guys, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Let me... one moment.
That's an interesting idea.
Oh God, that guy.
Now, so facial rec and that sort of thing could potentially be able to figure out the focus of somebody's eyes. They could actually tell you if somebody's looking at you, which would be an interesting AR feature.
Yeah, I guess something that's... you could have that running.
Have I met this guy?
I'm assuming you have. That's why I got you to make the roll.
Because I know Ditch did. But I don't know if we've actually physically been in his presence since then. When did I join up?
Well, you decide. Has Frost met the guy? If you
Well,
have,
he
like,
would've had
current
news.
affairs
He's a-
media...
He's a news guy, so probably seen him there anyway. Oh, okay.
But
Ray
he's...
definitely knows him.
He definitely has a little bit of a different look to him at the moment.
Oh, right. He's incognito. Yeah, well, I'll pass that around our local network here. So, hey, that's that guy.
Yeah.
Alright, so you sit down. And a couple of minutes later, Chip emerges from behind the bar with several plates of food and cups of coffee, which he sets down on the table. You'll notice he also sets down an extra napkin dispenser. And the moment he does that, Frost, well, everyone will notice this. The internal network that you have going just seems to be, you get the buffering symbol.
Mm-hmm.
Communications lost. You don't have...
find any bar.
Yeah, you got no signal. Which is apparently unusual because this place has one of the best access to the Matrix in Seattle. So you had 6 bars instead of 5 when you came into this place.
Wow.
You didn't know it went up to 6.
Well, still not 11, so.
And apparently you guys hook into the food. Apparently, about 10 minutes later, a human male dressed in a modest but professional-looking suit, carrying a faux leather briefcase, enters the place. He takes a few moments and looks around.
Oops.
Then he walks to the counter. He talks to Chip, who jerks his thumb in the direction of you guys. Without preamble, he walks up to your booth, sets down his briefcase, grabs a chair from a nearby table, and sits down and opens the briefcase with an audible click of the locks.
What's an odd
That's
locking
very
sound?
It's one of those new briefcases.
I guess so.
Apparently, Frost could not resist the urge to poke at that napkin dispenser. He's trying to figure out where the transmitter is.
Well, it doesn't take much to realise that the extra napkin dispenser at the table coincided with your signal being dropped.
Yeah, but how does it work? What brand is it? He's got to find out where it came from. What is it? Is it expensive? Is it cheap?
Okay, well, you pick it up,
You
look
don't
at
have
it.
to answer that. I failed my curiosity roll, so I have to
Well,
mess with it.
You pick it up, look at it. There's a switch on the bottom. It's quite discreet, but it's not a brand or anything that you know of. You You wouldn't know exactly what it is unless you opened it up. It's obviously being sort of homemade.
Totally gonna have to clear my throat and give him a pointed look, like, dude, really?
This is totally custom made.
But it does the job. And it actually dispenses napkins.
Whoa. 2 things at once.
Right, briefcase. Weird unlocking noise.
Very weird unlock noise.
So the guy will say, as you're sort of fondling the thing, he will say, that will make sure that our conversation remains quiet. Excellent service here. Now, my time is very valuable, and I know yours is as well. So let's just get to it, shall we? Names are unimportant, but you may call me Mr. Johnson when addressing me. Obviously, I require the services of people such as yourselves. There is a gentleman who has information I require, and I need you to obtain it for me. It's a simple job, but the target is very well known and influential. Also, time is a factor, as some of the information I require is time sensitive. I am willing to pay handsomely for expedited and component service. Payment is 10,000 New Yen each. Now, before I give any details, I need to know if you're interested. So are you?
Sure.
I am, yes.
I'm in.
Yes, I enjoy money.
Okay. The information in question is currently in the possession of the Seattle District Attorney, David Beatty. Not Dana.
No.
What's the name again?
But
David Beatty. I'll just copy in chat.
Did we interact with him before?
no, we've just interacted with Dana. She's the ADA at GURPS.
Yeah, I remember her.
It seems that Mr. Beatty doesn't completely trust current Matrix security technology and has taken to keeping the most sensitive and important files concerning past and current cases in a standalone system at his home office in an old cyberdeck, an ancient Fairlight Excalibur to be exact. Now, Frost, you would have some knowledge of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably the equivalent of a Commodore 64 to what you're familiar with.
Yeah, he probably chokes a little on the coffee.
Isn't that quaint? Now, there are several cases currently pending in the courts that, if they continue, would cause a great amount of frustration and or loss to those I represent. So, in summation, the job is to infiltrate Mr. Beatty's home, access the files, trash the deck and the home to cover the operation, and bring this information to me. How exactly you accomplish this, I leave to you. But because the information needed concerns ongoing and current cases currently before the courts, I will need this information in my possession within 34 hours. Now, I will not lie to you. Mr. Beatty is a powerful man and with great means. The security of his home will be considerable, as likely will the security of his system. Not to mention that those files are very valuable to several parties. But the old saying goes, you get what you pay for, and I'm paying for that information. Also, should you come across any valuable items, feel free to help yourself as long as the actions do not jeopardize the overall objective. I would also like this to be bloodless, but I place success over anything else. So, do we have a deal?
I'm in.
I'm in.
The fact that you want it bloodless, I'm in.
Yeah, I'm gonna be hesitant, but he will eventually nod.
Can you do bloodless, Frey? I'll figure it out.
Any attempts to negotiate a better price? You guys seem to be awfully happy to just take the price that's offered.
Well,
yeah, I was thinking.
I do have the merchant ability and I do have diplomacy, so based the fact that we are going up against Seattle District Attorney David Beatty, I would try to see if we could up the price due to the nature of the hazard that we're going up against.
Yeah, I had thought I had taken greed, but apparently I didn't.
So I would see if maybe I can up the price a little bit more, or see if we can get an advanced payment.
All right.
And I will aid him by explaining all the security issues we're going to run into in this situation.
All right, role play it.
Well,
What
I
if
don't
they
know.
decline?
I don't know what they actually are.
So you want us to go into Seattle District Attorney David Beatty's house, steal information directly from his private server. That's going to be pretty difficult. Not impossible, but difficult. So we may need some extra supplies up front to be able to do this. So I'd recommend, some money up front. Frost, what do you think?
Yeah, is Beatty's address available publicly, or has it been leaked publicly?
You wouldn't know because at the moment you've got no signal.
Well, that's true. Might he have come up in any of our
If you have
research?
If you have some current affairs, politics or people of importance, you might have some idea. Success by zeros. You know of the guy, but he's you haven't read into that much detail so that you know where he resides, but you imagine that it's going to be somewhere nice.
What'd you say the name of the computer was?
Fairlight Excalibur.
Excalibur, okay. Yeah, Frost is basically going to go on. Well, if he's sophisticated enough to use an Excalibur for this purpose, then he's clearly got some pretty serious computer security going on here. This is we may have to really stretch our resources in order to make this work.
Okay, give me a roll on your merchant and the assist roll.
What do you think for the assist here? Call it hacking or something else? We'll call it hacking. So that'll get us a 5 up.
Okay. Very well. Your team comes highly recommended. In this case, if you feel that you need some extra payment to cover any expenses, I'll grant you each an extra 5,000. But I'll not go any higher than that. If that is not sufficient, then I shall find another team.
That is up front, correct?
That is not upfront. That will be payment on completion.
What can you offer up front?
Give me a reaction roll. I am sure that you're familiar. The nature of our business is such that upfront payment is rarely offered, and in this case, that will be the case. In this case, that will be the arrangement. You will get nothing up front. I will only pay on delivery.
5,000 additional is good enough for us.
I think we can make that
15,000
work.
each. You
So
have
he
hired
says,
our services.
excellent. With that, he will produce a data chip from his briefcase. Does Frost have, like, noticeable hacker type stuff, paraphernalia with him? Does he have a data jack in his head? Cyber deck at his side?
He is going to have his deck with him. If that guy is particularly observant, he might have seen it under the code.
So there's things that distinguish Frost as being a bit
possibly,
of a deck junkie. So the data chip that he produces.
The diatribe about the Excalibur is going to let him know.
So he will produce the data chip and he will hand it directly to Frost. Says, I assume you'll be able to make use of this. It is the location of Beatty's home and a rough blueprint indicating where his office and the cyber deck are supposedly located. There are access codes to get inside the gated community which his residence is located.
We certainly can.
Do you have any other questions of me?
You said it's sensitive. How much time do we have?
34 hours.
Do you have any general idea of his security forces?
The community which he resides is patrolled by knight errant.
Did he say where we were delivering this? How we were delivering?
He has not.
After we obtain the information, how do you want us to get it back to you?
He says he writes a note, which is unusual since no one writes stuff these days.
It's not an AR note.
Well, it can't be an AR note because communications aren't working. So he writes the note.
Wouldn't that still work? Maybe. Maybe not.
No, it'll block all communication, so none of that would work. The only thing that would work is like infrared, if you had like an infrared communicator. But anyway, he writes the note. This is my comm code. Call it once your job is complete.
Any other critical information you can provide us?
Is there anything else we actually need to know that we can't find out on our own?
He He says all the information that I have that is critical to the mission is on that data chip. Unfortunately, it is not everything, but I'm sure you have the skills necessary to find out what you need to know.
All right, well, I guess the clock is ticking, so we better get started.
Excellent. Now, I would prefer that Mr. Beatty have no idea that the files are missing, but if necessary, then just grab the deck and bring it to me. Don't worry, I won't penalise you if you do this. The information is paramount, not the method in which I receive it.
Any additional bonus if we do hide the fact that the files are missing?
Sir, I am paying you a healthy amount to ensure that the files are not Start again. I am paying you to ensure that Mr. Beatty does not notice the files are missing.
Okay.
But if you cannot do that and must take the deck, I will not penalise you. I understand that no plan survives contact with the enemy.
I think we're good.
Excellent. With that, he will close his briefcase, lock it, stand, and return the chair to its spot, and he will make a determined, or he'll leave the coffee shop with quick haste.
All right, where's a safe place we can go to start figuring out a plan?
So at the moment, the jamming is still active. You know that you could just turn off the switch if you need to do stuff.
Yeah. I will actually switch it off.
Alright, so any conversations and stuff you do now could be potentially observed.
Which is why I say, where's a safe place we can go?
Yeah, I was about to ask, did we ever actually sort out a headquarters? There was at one point where we were talking about using Vapor's bar, but that was a long time ago. And most of the characters are new since then.
Well, Vapor's bar is always a thing, so...
And we're not all piling into my safe house.
Bar sounds fun.
Do it?
Said the bar sounds fine.
Oh.
So we'll head over to Vapor's bar then.
Okay. Alright, the clock is ticking. Mr. Johnson only gave you a mere 34 hours to complete this mission, and he didn't give you a lot to go on. You need information, and you need it soon. Still, you have some time for preparation and information gathering. Information means two things: scouting and contacts. You're ready to move, but then you pause. Why is that slag in the cheap business suit and bad haircut looking a bit too interested in you? Referring to Mr. News Guy.
Mm-hmm.
They are, yes.
Now, who noticed? Frost was the one who noticed him, right?
Yeah, and I pointed him out to everybody.
Do we know anything about Joe Martin?
Frey and Frost, you may... At least Frey has had previous contact with him. Frost may or may not. I think you have. The rest of you have not had contact with him, but you, after it was pointed out, you sort of see through the disguise, and you will recognise him as Joe Martin. He is a Newsnet reporter.
What is our reputation with Newsnet right now?
He is not fond of you, I don't think.
We keep avoiding him in favor of the other one, Totopoulos.
Principally because he seems easy. Right. So how do we react to that?
Is he like a host on Newsnet? Would we have seen him on the news every once in a while watching TV?
Yes, you would have.
So, honestly, being gregarious and kind of overconfident, I'd go walk over and I'd be like, "Hey, aren't you Joe Martin? You're on Newsnet. Wow, that is amazing. Can I get your autograph?"
He's in disguise. Nice.
I'm totally going to sneak up behind him and switch out his napkin dispenser.
To the jammer?
Yeah.
I'm just
okay.
The door.
Alright, so Frey, you head towards the door.
Wow.
Frost, you're going to...
While Gorgo is talking to him.
Frost, you're going to... Gorgo's going up to talk to him. Frost, you're going to do the napkins. What's Shard going to do?
Mm-hmm.
I'll do Astral Sight, see if he has anything magical on him, around him.
He does not.
Alrighty. I'll relay that to the team and then just generally keep an eye out.
Give me a stealth roll to do the subtle switch. Alright, so you will successfully switch it without him noticing, but when you switch it on, you'll notice there is an obvious reaction as his AR and all that will start buffering.
So then I will be talking to him and be like, "Aren't you Joe Martin? You're Newsnet. Man, this is an honor. Can I have your autograph?"
Autograph?
He goes, yes, of course.
I'll just grab a napkin, pull out a pen. I'll be like, "Thank you. This is just so great. So what are you doing in a bar like this? I mean, I never would have thought I would see."
Fake hair?
someone as famous as you.
Are you undercover?
He says, well, I can't really tell you, but all I can say is that I'm undercover for an investigative piece.
Oh, really? Oh, that's so exciting.
I just came here for breakfast before getting back out there. He then turns to Frost and says, I had no idea that we'd be meeting again so soon.
Oh, he's gonna see his back as he's walking away.
Oh, okay. So you're not sticking around?
No.
Then retcon that. He does not.
So
He turns around and says, "Hey, was that Frost?"
He says, those people that you're with, how familiar are you with them?
Oh, I just met them.
I see.
So you're investigating something. What is it?
I'm sorry, I can't say. But if you keep an eye on the news, the story will be released soon.
Oh, really? Okay. Is there any way I can fast talk them or do with a combination of psychology to try to trip them up?
You're trying to get information?
Yes. The information I know he's trying to hold back.
So fast talk are influence skills. You could roll interrogation.
Isn't there a thing for that in social, whatever it is?
There may well be.
Social. Come on, Daniel. You should know this.
Yeah, there may well be.
I think what you're thinking
Social
of there is
engineering.
elicitation, but that was in a pyramid. No, probably just the influence roll is all you really need here.
So you can give me a fast talk roll or an influence roll for a good reaction. But that's probably not going to get you the information that you want. You'd need probably something a little bit better than a good reaction for him to break protocol. So you could use interrogation if you have the skill. So you will get a good reaction just talking to him. So he's quite open with other things that he's working on. He'll tell you, what's currently going down. If you watch the news tonight, you'll see a piece on, a cat saving a fireman from a tree or something like that.
Can I, as I'm doing the fast talk and I got a favorable roll, can I kind of use psychology to
If you want information, you'll have to use interrogation.
Can I do that at base or whatever?
Default?
Default?
Yes, it'll be IQ -5.
Hold on, it might also be something else as well.
Actually, psychology might be
202.
Intimidation, I think, and I wonder if
interrogation, IQ -5, intimidation -3, or psychology -4.
Well, I doubt that you're intimidating the information out of him.
No, I'd be more trying to use psychology as part of my fast talk
-4.
to, so.
Or IQ -5, whichever is higher.
17 -4 is 13. IQ -5 would be 10. So psychology -4.
God, you're really good at psychology.
So, are there any other modifiers that come into play?
So I 1 by 1.
There's plenty. There's -5 if his loyalty to his leader or cause is very good or excellent. -3 for low empathy. Nope. +2 for lengthy interrogation. Nope. +3 if you use severe. No, it said -3 for low empathy. So
all right. So in this case, you're at a further -5 because of the his loyalty to the cause. So that will be a success
hit by
by 0. So he has to make a will roll.
Something you can probably which do you have the full empathy there, Paul? The 15.1?
Yes, I
Or
do.
is it the 5?
Full empathy
Okay.
15.
Yeah,
And then if
so
need to, I'll use a luck roll too.
no, when you first meet someone or are reunited, you may ask the GM to roll against your IQ. He can tell you what you feel about that person. So that's something to keep in mind. Right. So that makes sense. That makes sense why your psychology is as high as it is, because that 15 pointer gives you a +3 to it.
Well, you can decide whether you use your luck based on this roll. So I'll be rolling his will.
Yeah, he's a reporter. They don't have any willpower.
So he will say, unfortunately, I can't talk about that, but that news will come out soon. Watch Newsnet. You'll find out.
In that case, I'm gonna see if I can use my luck.
So make him reroll.
So I'll go by the success by 6, which would be success by 1, right?
Yes. It hasn't helped your situation.
Okay.
He doesn't. He's still, happy to talk to you and stuff, but he's not going to tell you what he's currently working on.
Because I wasn't being, I was trying to pull out information, but not in a aggressive way. That it's like it tips the hat of like I made it stealthy enough, right? I didn't fail too much.
It's not like you're being confrontational or anything. It's very subtle. You're just asking some questions and hoping that he slips up and tells you things.
Joe, it's been an honor. You're really talking to you. Hey, if you ever want, I would love to be able to, in the future, just sit down and have some drinks, and just hang out at a bar or something. What do you think?
Sweet, you're hitting on him.
You got a good reaction. He says, you got a good reaction from your fast talk. He will say, yes, certainly, another time. He will give you a card.
Okay.
And then say, give me a call and we'll chat. I'd like to talk about your friends there, if you're open to it.
I'm gonna have to kill them both, aren't I?
Sounds like a plan, Joe. All right, take it easy, buddy.
He says,
I'll give you a call.
Is your AR playing up, or is it just me? And you see, he like taps his head as if he's like trying to get something to work.
I'll pull out my tiny computer. I'll be like, yeah, it seems to be buffering. Weird. Huh, okay.
He goes, odd.
Yeah, very odd. Huh.
He says, well, it's been nice meeting you. Perhaps we'll talk soon.
Yeah, I'd like that. All right, take care, Joe. And I'll head out.
All right, you leave.
So on the way over to Vapor's bar, I'll explain to the group. So it looks like he's kind of doing a investigative story, and he's got his eyes on Frost for whatever reason, and he says he's doing an expose. And I explain whatever I did, kind of pull out of that conversation. I, give it to the group. And I also show the contact card for Joe.
You're gonna have to trash his system remotely, aren't you, Daniel?
I don't know
You're
that he
gonna
was
like,
necessarily.
oh.
I don't know that he was necessarily singling me out just because I was nearby.
Well, he was not singling you out. It was Frey and you that he recognised.
Yeah. Basically, he was interested in the two of you. And he was asking me about it. He wanted me to, I offered to join him at a bar, and he said, well, if you're interested in talking about your friends, he'd be interested too. But of course, I'm not.
He makes slimy reporters look good.
All right, so we head over to Vesper's bar. So as we're heading over there, Frost, can you start linking and doing some research on the Attorney General's place?
I will have started that process as soon as I was getting bars. No, I was going to tell you, because you don't know, that this reporter, and technically, well, technically Tatopolis has the same issue, but they keep showing up whenever we go on these damn missions and trying to get us to give them the inside scoop. They keep getting our goddamn contact numbers, and they know what we're doing somehow. So somebody's feeding these people information.
The GM's feeding them information.
Well, your contact numbers would be out on the street.
No. Well, certain contact numbers, maybe.
Yes, and it's those certain contact numbers that they would be getting contact to or through.
But
yeah, it's the cover IDs.
Like this current example, here he is. He's at this place before we were.
That's a city. He could totally be accidental. He could be looking into something else. Or the whole thing could be a monster setup that we're about to walk into.
Yeah, that's weird. Why is that not showing?
Well, with my psychology rolls on him, what sense did I get from him? What kind of demeanor, what kind of person is he?
Slimy reporter.
Slimy person. Because, reporter.
Not all reporters are slimy.
I can think of one that isn't. And he wears a big S on his chest.
Okay, let's see.
But what information does Frost start pulling up?
Well, that's going to take some time. And we're going to have to sort out what we actually need to go over. So, at the very least, I'm going to look over that chip and find out what information we have there, which is supposed to include the address, at which point we can research the house itself.
Well, I'll relate what little I know about him, about the DA.
And then I'm going to have to start going over the Excalibur situation, find out what I need to know about that. Also need to find out if he's working with any hackers or big name security guys.
Do we have a general idea where that safe might be?
The chip was supposed to include that.
Oh God, it's a gazebo!
It's a trap.
I'll have to take that out first.
Yep, we better shoot the gazebo.
We still have ink grenades, right?
I have
Yes,
one.
we do.
Yes.
I have one. Well, remember, this is supposed to be a stealthy B&E. Bloodless.
Oh yeah,
Well,
I
he did.
totally agree with that.
He said burn
Actually,
it
that's
down.
that's a good question. No, he said probably make it look like a robbery.
We need
Yeah,
an idea of BD's schedule, when we know he's not gonna be at home. We need information on Knight Aaron's basically route through the neighborhood. And is that actually woods behind his house?
Yes.
No, it's green squiggles.
There is an address. I'm not sure how it actually corresponds with the real world. But let's have a look.
What part of town
So
it's in.
I also made that success by 0 on the current affairs politics. So what do I know about this dude? About Beatty? I mean, how capable is he as the DA? Has he been in the news recently for big for a big case or anything, etc., etc.?
All right, 1 moment. So with all modifiers and stuff, that's a success by 0.
For the current affairs, I don't know. Do you have modifiers for that? Let me look.
I'm sure there are. Oh, rent. Okay. I think I remember where that is. Right, yeah. I think we did something on renting at one point.
-1 per day that you've been unable to access news media. That's not going to be a problem. -3 if you only have one source. That's not going to be a problem. +1 or more for inside access to the news. Subscription to an ordinary wire service is worth +1, while a job at an intelligence agency might give +3 or more. So, yeah, it's probably just going to be success by 0. I don't have either of those anymore.
Okay, so you know that he is Seattle's district attorney. He has a reputation of being tough but fair, and seems to be an honest straight shooter.
Great. We're going to
Which
get in
means
there
he's
and
hiding
half
something.
yeah, that, or we're going to be responsible for him getting ganked or half of his face burned off like Two-Face.
Yeah. The
Well,
address
we need
there
a way
isn't
of.
a
We
real
need to know what his
address.
schedule is. We need to know if there's a way of getting him out of the house without
You
tipping
would
him
also
off.
you would also know that that is just his public persona. You would need much more detailed information to find out if he's shifty or has things going on behind the scenes.
Of course he does. He's a politician.
Well, I don't want to reach out to the ADA because she's Miss Law Enforcement.
Yeah, that probably won't be good if you're starting to ask her questions about her boss.
This is out of character, but I could look into my mafia contacts, see what they have.
Yeah, you could.
Wondering, I guess I could reach out to Tosh.
Sure.
Yes, I could. Should I try that? Reach out to my mafia? What do you think?
Might as well. I mean, if they have something, they have something.
So 9 or less.
So, Daniel, does that address actually come up with something?
No, the street address is not real, but Renton is. I was kind of poking around the map, trying to see where a good spot for it might be. I don't see anything specifically. There are wooded areas all over there.
Okay, give me a roll for Tosh's skill.
Damn.
Wow.
Apparently he's on the patrol.
So, Tosh will tell you. Is there anything specific that you want to know about him? I've had quite a few dealings with in working with the DA's office.
Actually, how the hell do you ask him questions about this guy and not point the finger right at us?
Oh well, Tosh is quite aware of what the deal is. Because remember, he's pretty much established from almost from day one. He doesn't give a damn. Let's see. How do I approach that? Damn. How do I approach that? Probably going to try to find out roughly what his schedule is, with the implication. I just want to talk to him, and with the unstated purpose of I want to find out what his schedule is, with the implication that I'm going to try to intercept him when I'm actually trying to find out where he's at, so we can hit the place when he's not at the residence.
So as you sort of start to talk, Tosh cuts you off and says, I don't want to know whatever it is you guys are involved in. You know where I stand on things. I can tell you some information. I don't know his schedule. I could certainly find that out, but I would be very upset if you use that information to do something that is going to affect the DA's office.
Hey, I'm for the DA's office.
So, the information that you're chasing is his schedule?
Yeah.
And
like I said, I'm trying to find out when he's at A so we can hit B while he's not there.
I'm actually wondering if we shouldn't ask about big cases that he might be involved in right now, because whatever it is we're doing, whatever it is that we're going in to get is related to some big case that's going on right now.
True, and we may decide that it might not be worth the money to go after this evidence. It might be better for us to turn the other guy in.
Well, we don't want to start doing that.
No, that'd be a terrible thing for Shadowrunners to do. That'd ruin us.
Just saying, if we were to find out that it was some,
But
no, if we find out that the dude is he like stabbed us in the back or something, then that's when we go, all right, well, gloves are off now, bitch. We're coming for you. And if you're very, very, very lucky, we'll turn you over to the cops.
So he will
that.
he will tell you. So, I have a question. If I give you this information, is it going to reflect poorly on the DA's office?
I'm going to pause and reply with I don't know the answer to that. So it might be best if you didn't give me the information. So I'm totally upfront and honest with him pretty much all the time.
He says, very well. I appreciate your honesty. I don't know what it is you guys are involved in, and I really don't want to know. But I can tell you that the DA is doing good things for us. And the way he says us, you get the feeling that he's talking about the meta-human rights.
Well, considering I'm a meta-human.
In particular, the whole theme here has been the Orc Underground, and Tosh has been very, he's helping McAllister. Him and McAllister have history. You don't know the full history, but he fully supports McAllister in trying to get this movement happening, and he supports the movement. He says the DA, his daughter, or his granddaughter, goblinized into an orc last year, so he's been really sympathetic to Prop 23. However, he's still on the fence with that, and some are getting nervous about his indecisiveness. I hope you're not doing anything that could sway that decision.
Would he be able to give us an idea on some of the cases he's currently involved in, high-level cases that could be embarrassing for certain groups?
Well, that's up to Frey to ask.
Yeah, I'm probably going to focus on any. Let's see, does 23? Yeah, it's going to be. What do we have anything major that is in the news about that prop other than just the general prop? Are there any actual big crime or big cases involving it?
It has been 2.5 months.
That's true. Well, technically 3-ish. Yeah, something like that.
No big cases as such that you know of, though. Since you are a cop, you would know that any case that the police are working on, it is probably going to be months or weeks to months that they're actually working on it before it becomes public. So there may well be cases in process that have not really, been released to public yet.
Side note, something we may have.
But the vote is looming. From memory, don't quote me on it, but I think it's around November.
November, probably. Because
Yeah,
November's
probably.
voting.
Something we should consider asking people about is what happens in 34 hours?
That's true. I am gonna relate that. Is there anything big related that he's involved in within the next 30 hours?
He says that is a question better put forward to Dana.
Well, you know how she is. If I start asking her that sort of thing, then everything's going to go to crap.
Understood. I can try and ask. I'll be subtle about it. But, yeah, I can't promise anything.
Okay.
I will get back to you with that information.
Right. Appreciate it. We're still on for cards weekend, right?
Sure. As long as you don't piss me off. I hate extra paperwork. You understand?
I do, yep. Okay, yeah, so as soon as I'm off the phone with him, I'm gonna be telling everybody, I don't know, I'm starting to get an ugly stench about this op.
Oh yeah, the money was way too good.
Well, Frost, what can
Right.
you what information can you get on? Can you hack into his schedule and see maybe where he is, what he's, see what you can do to hack in and get that information?
Well, I can get what I can get.
Let me.
Anybody
I'm gonna
else?
try my mafia group and see if maybe they might have some information or not.
Okay.
Any modifiers since I had 2 good months of selling drugs for them?
No. Not for the frequency of appearance. So you will contact them, but they'll say that's the DA's office. That's not something that we want to touch right now.
Understood.
There's things in the works, and we don't want to draw the attention of the DA's office. You'll have to let that one slide for now.
So we probably need at least get eyes on the residents with Frost drones. Maybe stake it out.
And we also need to see how good that woods area is, how big it is, and maybe see where we can enter in, probably come in by foot.
Doesn't look like any of them are super big, but it will at least disguise an approach if we need to. On the other hand, they're probably going to be watching the wooded areas, especially if they're any good with their security.
Is this a gated community?
It is.
Yeah, so we've got codes for the gates.
So once we're in, they're probably not going to be watching the wooded areas.
No, I mean, if that residence has any decent security, it will be looking at the wooded areas.
Well, based on what we can if we know anything about the layout of the house, and I'm assuming if we could see anything of the outside features, we see motion lights. It doesn't look like it necessarily has cameras.
Oh, well, I guess it doesn't say it has cameras, but I would assume it has cameras. This is the friggin' DA.
He might
Although,
just be
honestly,
trusting
the house looks a little weird. Like, there's not much in it. I guess there's an upper floor, but I don't know. I don't want to read too much into their design, because these people have a tendency to not know what the hell they're doing.
Do we have a map for the upper floor?
No. There is an upper floor, of course.
It's odd. Why wouldn't they include that in a map?
So I take it the information is on the bottom floor.
I guess. So I need to, I guess we need to handle the research part. So, there are a number of things I want to look into. I need to look into the security situation at the residence and the gated community in general.
Okay, and how are you going to go about that?
The usual. I'll start with what I can find publicly and start digging in as I need to.
Not magic.
Well, some people might consider it magic. And also I want to start data mining on that whole 34 hours business, because if there's something big going on, it might have been mentioned somewhere.
Well, your Johnson mentioned there is a case. He's working on a case that will be before the courts in 34 hours.
Right, which I'm presuming the issue in question is a legal one.
So you could maybe assume that the guy that Johnson is representing is maybe another lawyer or something like that. Want some information that he can use against the DA's case.
The comm code that he provided, can we use that as a means of finding information on Johnson?
Only if he really sucks.
You get the feeling that he doesn't really suck.
Yeah, anybody worth their cred is going to be using a burner phone for something like that. But you never know. Some people are just that sloppy. Aside from resident security and maybe nailing down what specifically that case is, do I need to find anything else out here?
The other question I have is, I remember that King Willie knows how to cast invisibility. Do we want to see if we can maybe bring him in and have him cast invisibility on one of us and we sneak in?
He's a contact, not an ally.
I thought we
well,
were
the
told that we could use
the contact can provide a service. Yeah, that's tricky. Maybe we can keep.
Anyone have him as a contact or ally?
I think there's two of us have him as a contact.
But it's a 6 or less. Is it not?
Yeah.
So
But
it's
there's two
an
of us.
option. So,
Yeah, we'll keep
but
that
don't
in
rely on
mind,
it.
though. We might give that a shot. The other thing I needed to look into was the Excalibur thing and get some ideas about what he might be doing with that security-wise. What am I in for trying to break into it? I think
Given its age,
what I might be looking to do here is actually swap it out with a dummy.
That has brick.
Yeah, maybe. Now, if he's gone to all this trouble with that old piece of crap, then it's probably going to be highly customized, so it may be hard to disguise that. But we'll see what we can get out of that.
that's some information on the home that you will be able to ascertain,
Okay.
either via your drones or other means.
Bit of both. Uh-huh. Yeah, once again, they have no concept of scale.
So at this point, it is in the morning. So you're looking at maybe, I don't know how long you sort of stuck around, but maybe 9 or 10 o'clock before you get to Vapor's place. His bar is just opening up. So Vapor will lead you to the back room, and he says you'll have some privacy here. So you've got a day and a bit, I guess, to do your stuff, including stakeout or whatever. Tosh will call or send a voice message to Frey with some information. In summary, it will basically tell you that there is some rumours flying around the DA's office. There is apparently some tension between Beatty and Oakes and another ADA by the name of Mark Blackfern.
I'm going to pass that name on to Frost for potential additional research.
Mm-hmm.
He will tell you that the DA arrives in the office usually before 8 in the morning. So he says that would mean he probably leaves home around 7. However, the times that he comes home will vary. The DA is often seen working late.
Roger that.
How late is late?
Well, that would vary. Yeah, sometimes he'd be potentially pulling all-nighters. Other times, he'll stay back to 9 o'clock sort of thing.
When is he normally? Is there a general idea of when he?
Well, if you consider it a normal 8-hour workday, then it's going to be 4 or 5.
Yeah, but if you're usually salary, it's usually about 10 hours. It's usual average.
Well, the normal knock-off time is 4 or 5, depending on what arrangements they have with their employer. But the DA is always said to be working overtime. So you could imagine that anywhere he will be likely still at the office, up to like 6-7 o'clock maybe on average, but it could go over or under that depending on the current situation.
See what we can pull up with that. And then we can look at, since we know he's basically in the office every day from until at least 6. Do we do a hit and run during that time frame? And then we also got to look at Night Errand and see what their schedule is for.
I was also thinking Frost can probably at least see is the guy married? If he's married, does she have a job?
Okay, that's information easily found. I guess Frost, make a research roll. You can complementary skill it, if you wish, with anything that you deem useful.
What would that be?
How about that?
Sure.
If maybe she's
Well,
there in the news.
You can get up to 2 complementary skills. So is there another complementary skill that you feel would work?
Let's see. This one specifically. Well, what all do
I'm
you
just
want
trying
to
to
cover
find
in
out.
this particular?
Just trying out, his stuff.
What
Yeah,
about
is he
Shard? Or
married?
is Shard just happy being sitting quietly in the
Yeah,
back,
say
sipping a
something.
drink?
He's over there trying to burn stuff.
Too damn quiet.
I just am quiet. I suppose the main thing a concern for me would be is just trying to figure out if there's any magical surveillance or defenses in place at the house.
Well, you'd have to get eyes in there, I
Yeah.
suspect.
So
Yep.
yeah, we can work with that. What at the GM? What do we want to cover with this research? Are we covering everything with this role, or is this just specific?
Well, let's
to
just
Beatty?
make the roll, and that will cover everything. So then you can ask me questions, and depending on the level of your success, I'll determine whether that information
So don't
is
screw it
available.
up.
Well, the reason I was asking is because that would determine what other assists I would attempt.
Okay, so your streetwise could work. Current affairs politics has already been used, so a second roll on that's not going to really help.
No, Gorgo had a fairly high streetwise, I seem to recall. Yeah, we'll use that.
Alright, so research +2.
Setting up.
Question. I know I just thought about this, but I have wrestling and brawling. Can I get rid of one of those skills and up my guns by 2?
You can
They're different.
certainly get rid of them, but they have different purposes. Brawling is for punching, wrestling is for grappling. And too late, we already started.
I know. I was just wondering.
The only one that I'm giving some leniency on is Shard for the purpose of sorcerizing. If that's even a word, sorcerizing.
Sorcerizing? Why not? If it ain't a word, we make it a word. Ugh.
Okay, so you get lots of informations. Okay, David Beatty.
Fortunately, it takes a while.
David Beatty does have a wife. His wife's name is Angie.
He has a wife, you know.
They live together. She works in, quote, job.
Whew, that's a tough.
So she obviously has a job that makes sense with regards to her standing and position. Feel free to imagination that to whatever you want it.
Is it a job outside the home or one that she can work from home?
It is an outside of home job. And by its nature, you imagine it's a regular 9 to 5 sort of job.
What status is he?
I guess it would be status 2? 1 or 2?
Because Seattle is basically a city-state.
Actually, status 1 is probably...
The DA?
Maybe a bit more. Yeah, probably maybe 2. Wouldn't be higher than 2 though. The mayor would be 3. Actually, no, the mayor would not. The mayor would be 2. Hard to say. More than you.
Well, that's not saying much at the moment.
He obviously makes a decent paycheck because where he's living is not cheap.
Okay, well that means his wife is working a status 1 job of some kind or another. Else she could probably be, it's not out of the question that she's a lawyer.
It makes sense.
Probably legal.
They, that's probably how they met, so it's not, not out of quite the ordinary that she could be a lawyer of some sort of legal aid or something like that.
Alright, what do we get on security? Oh, kids?
No longer living at home. They're off doing, in quotes, careers.
I have an idea. Is there a way we can maybe set up a like they get a free dinner at a romantic restaurant for the two of them? They want a prize to keep them out of the house for a little bit longer.
If you could do that, then we know we've got a problem with these people already. That's called a bribe.
No, I'm talking about like they won it and like they just randomly won it.
Would you trust that?
Given his busy schedule and such, at short notice, you want a dinner date tonight is probably, not going to be able to be scheduled. They would need a little bit of warning to schedule something like that. But you do know that both of them are not at home right now. So at least, the wife won't get home till...
According to their schedule, yeah.
Yeah, the wife is not likely to get home till after 5, working a 9 to 5 job, and the DA often works late, so normal knock-off time is 5, so he's not likely to get home till after 5.
Yeah, chances are we're either going to hit them before they come home today or after they leave in the morning.
Well, it took Frost 5 hours of research to figure out whether he was married and some of the information. So right now it's about, 3 p.m.?
So that's not a margin crit on your research.
3? Well...
But it's not a margin crit, but it is a success by 12. Alright, so after some time, you will get some extra informations. You will even get the identity of your Johnson. is a dude by the name of Leonard. Well, Leonard. It is a dude by the name of Leonard Fremont. He is actually a lawyer that works for the DA's office. He is at the low end of the office, does mostly grunt work. He you would know, and who was the one that rolled the other complementary skill? Streetwise?
Gorgo.
That was Gorgo.
Streetwise?
Yeah. So Gorgo, when the name Leonard Fremont is mentioned, the name sort of just pops, rings a bell, and you've heard the name before. Leonard Fremont likes to gamble, and he owes Finnegan's a lot of money, in the order of like 100K sort of deal. There's been talk of having him whacked, or at least kneecaps broken, methods to get that money out of him or extort him for other services.
I'll convey that information to the group.
He's so gonna screw us over.
Oh, I'm already thinking he's a cutout.
Because here's the thing: is
Yeah.
he owes,
Someone's using him. Someone's applying pressure on him to do this stuff.
yeah, because if he owes 100K to Finnegan's, he's not the one paying us. He's just the middleman.
Or he's gonna screw us.
That too, which is also why maybe that Newsnet person was there.
You will also know, so this will come up in your research, probably from the current affairs, politics, complementary role. So Frey, in the circles and rumours and stuff like that, you will have heard that Fremont is... his gambling habit is known by his boss, and his boss is known to use that as leverage to get Fremont to do side jobs for him.
And who's his boss again? Is that not here, or is it the other guy that was with the tension between the DA and Oaks?
Mark Blackfern?
Mark something or other. Yeah, Blackfern. Ah, it's right there.
It's Oaks and Beatty that have some tension going on. The other, what was it? Blackfern.
Mark Blackfern. So does Fremont work for Oates, or does he work for Blackfern?
He works in the DA's office, and
I guess if Oaks is assistant DA, then he technically works for both Oaks and Beatty.
She's a DA as well.
So he works for both. So he works for Dana, he works for Beatty, and he works for Mark. But it is the DA that normally leverages him to do side jobs because of this gambling habit.
Interesting.
Those side jobs don't necessarily mean criminal, but he definitely holds it over him. You know,
So
you want to keep your job. You're going to do this for me.
So he probably resents the fact that Beatty is telling him to do stuff.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well,
All right, and
That
Blackfern.
that covers. Oh, okay. Got more on that.
He's obviously assistant DA, or one of them. You learn, and this will be from your current affairs, I guess, influence, that he and Dana do not get along. Sorry, not he and Dana. He and Beatty do not get along. He feels that Beatty cheated him out of the DA's job. You would also have found out that Dana also has an ambitious dislike for the DA as well, as they both feel cheated out of the DA's job.
So it sounds like everybody's gunning for this DA.
Oh, politics.
Except for the cops.
Mark Blackfern also supposedly knows of a political bombshell that Beatty is going to drop and take advantage of. What the details of that are, you don't find out.
So who do we trust?
Well, right now we're just getting information.
So we know our contact is Leonard Fremont. He's a gambler who owes the Finnegans $100K and basically has threats against him. His boss knows that he gambles and basically has him do side jobs. Not necessarily criminal, but probably jobs that are beneath him. Both Blackfern and Dana and Oates all don't like Beatty. And he's got a political thing coming up soon that's a bombshell.
Yep.
And possibly the information that he has on his server is related to that bombshell that he's about to reveal.
One might deduce that. All right. That's politics. What about security?
Okay, the security is a gated complex. The Knight Errant patrol this complex. And they do it on a regular basis. They do, of course, as a standard security procedure, and you would get this information again through your research. You hit some Shadowland BBSs and talk about this stuff, and you would know that because it's a decent security place, the Knight Errant patrols are randomized. So there's no knowing when patrols come through.
Oh, okay. Randomized timing.
Yes.
But even with the randomized timing, there's still a schedule somewhere.
Well, we'll see if that actually matters. It may.
You, of course, do have the code to get into the gated community. So you would know that as long as you at least remotely look like you belong there, or you're guests of someone or something like that, you're probably not going to be harassed.
Do we have any contacts in that gated community that would give us an excuse for being in there?
You don't.
I don't think so.
Where does the Newsnet guy live?
We don't want to bring him involved into this.
I'm not saying we're going to bring him involved, but if he lives in that gated community, it might be a good excuse to get in there.
He's
You
a
don't know.
reporter. He doesn't make that much money.
You never know. They're Newsnet guys.
You don't know where he lives.
Okay.
So aside from the patrols, who controls security on the grounds? Do they have a contract?
They
Is
don't.
it just
There's no-
the, courtesy patrol, or
It is just the courtesy patrols.
okay?
So there's no armed guards on the premises.
All right.
Does any-
So do they have an account? Do they have a security system monitoring account?
While you don't have the particulars of that, it is a safe, 99% assumption that they do have a security account with a security provider. Most likely Knight Errant, since they
Okay.
patrol the community.
That's interesting.
Detective Tosh, he is with Knight Errant. Maybe he might be able to give us the schedule for today.
I'm not going to ask
No.
him what the schedule of the thing is for the DA's house.
They already had
I'm
that
not saying
conversation.
for the schedule for the DA's house. I'm saying for the gated community.
Where the DA's house is located at.
He doesn't
they already
want
had-
to know.
After I had already asked him a bunch of leading questions.
But he
They'd
also
already had
said he
that
doesn't want to
conversation.
know.
Yeah, if he asked about the security at the gated community, that's letting him know.
Can we hack into
okay.
Knight Errant servers and find that information?
Potentially, I'm sorting that out. So they have a security system, and it's monitored by Knight Errant, or at least that's a possibility. So I need to find out whether or not that's true. If, generally speaking, if somebody has, if their property is monitored, they almost always have a sign.
What day is today?
Monday.
And we have 34 hours, correct?
Well, it's going to be less than that.
Well, I mean, we have basically by the end of Tuesday to get this done.
Sounds right.
So today would be more of prep work, and tomorrow would be the execution. Unless we want to go on tonight while they're sleeping, which, if we want this bloodless, is not a good idea.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
Okay, so my point of the security monitoring is if we can get the particulars of their account, we can know whether or not they have cameras. Are those cameras being monitored or just responding to motion control or whatever? The only thing that we know based on the map there is that we have motion sensitive lights. which really doesn't tell us a whole lot.
Master
I'm
of the art of
assuming-
standing so still.
I am assuming that they have CCTV here, but there's no mention of it on the map.
No,
I
it
don't
just
like to
shows motion
assume.
lights.
Alright, so you could, if you got access to the community, you could find one of the sort of matrix data nodes or whatever. You
Yes.
could splice into that, and then you would be able to get the information that you need. Disable any alarms, rewire any cameras to loop feed, and that sort of stuff.
So is that a feature of this community? Is they're providing that stuff? Well,
you would be able to find that easy enough. So, you can look on a Google Maps or whatever and go, okay, that's the matrix junction point there. I'll need to get access to that.
all right. That is probably what I need in that regard. And once I get the node, I can figure out what's attached to it.
Does anybody in the group have a nice car?
No.
I'm playing. Oh,
Shard has status 1,
Oh,
so
yeah.
he will have a car appropriate to status 1.
So we'll use Shard's car and maybe get into the gated community and do a stakeout.
Yeah, you say that. He may have a Porsche that has, enough room in maybe the trunk for you.
What kind of car do you have, Shard?
You probably don't want to be using personal vehicles on a job anyway. You probably want to jack a
I
car.
can probably afford a rental.
Yeah, do a rental. We could do that. Just rent a nice car.
Well, you wouldn't be able to rent a vehicle you don't want to rent a vehicle that you're going to use on a job unless you have fake ID or alternate identity advantage. Or perk, I think. There's a perk version that lasts one time.
Temporary, yeah. I need to look into that, actually, now that you mention it. I want to make a note.
So your best bet for a vehicle is to steal it. Implicate
Depending.
some other person in a crime.
Stolen and then it gets spotted. That's a whole nother matter.
So quick!
Yeah.
Somebody stole the asshole, the ADA guy who we suspect maybe linked to
Leonard
this.
Fremont?
Oh, I was gonna say
That'd be
Blackfern,
hilarious.
but that the other one would be funny too.
He's the one that's paying you.
He's like,
I
"Fuck,
know.
where'd my car go?" And go, "I don't know."
Said you didn't care how.
Blackfern's car might be a good idea.
No, we don't
No,
wanna
we could
do
probably
that.
do. We could probably be a little more inconspicuous than that.
What about
Honestly,
what kind
at
of
this
car does
point-
Joe Martin drive?
well, at this point, I'd be just as tempted to come through the wood line anyway.
But we still need to get
Because-
through the gates.
I think actually, just saying that, I think what may be the best thing we can do here is probably some kind of security contract, or not security, but maintenance contract. So we come in as friggin' the cable company or something. So we can use the access that we have to provide some seeming legitimacy and phone company or whatever regalia.
Okay. Cutscene.
Uh-oh.
Okay, people. Nothing left to do but get this job over with. Mr. Johnson's paying a lot of money for a speedy delivery of the pay data, and the clock is still ticking. Time to get into motion and get paid. The house looks solid enough, but then that's what is to be expected with someone like Beatty. No one gets to where he is without being able to secure what he has. Still, it shouldn't be that hard, now should it?
Why are we asking ourselves these kind of questions?
Did you see that
Internal-
text over our heads?
Internal
Is
monologues.
that an AR?
My internal monologue doesn't talk like that. It's very terse and stuff like, yeah.
Okay, then it's your
Might be in
sister.
Russian.
Knock it off.
Is
In
there
fact,
anything
your
that I
sister's
can-
narrating.
Yeah,
Angrily.
that would totally be
But what
something
she
she
would
would
Angrily,
do.
Frey says, "Knock it off." The voice ignores and continues.
Yeah, that's exactly what she would do.
Mm-hmm. What about the Excalibur? Anything I can get out of that that's potentially useful?
I don't know. Are you Arthur and the Britons?
We
Maybe.
can assume that you could complimentary roll anything that you need to with regard. When the time comes for rolls, we will say that you
Okay.
get a complimentary roll bonus for it.
I can live with that.
We could also pretend to be medical EMTs responding to a call.
You could maybe make that work if we're end up at the wrong house, basically.
But then you need an
I'm
ambulance
gonna guess.
and uniforms.
I
a
applied
gurney.
for stimulus.
I can try my contact with Dock Wagon, see if they can provide that.
True.
Are you sure you applied the cortical stimulators?
I certainly did.
We didn't get a response from either patient.
I was thinking that exact same thing.
Of course we were.
Do we want to try that method or try the?
You might as well
or
make
just-
the call. I mean, if we can, that'll work. We don't have to be super specific here. Oh, look.
I succeeded by one. Yay!
Okay, so she's a contact. She can give you information. What information would you
Well,
like?
yeah. I just need to borrow an ambulance for a couple of hours.
That would be a patron.
I think contacts can give you access.
Or do you know of an ambulance we can borrow that might be
you
available
go.
for about 2 hours?
Yeah, it's like, do you know? Is anybody giving you any trouble? Do you need me to screw them over somehow?
Okay, give me a roll on her level of skill.
What do you mean?
Your contact will have a skill level associated with it. I think it's 12, 15, 18.
I did. It was a 9. 12. That's right. 12. Okay.
So this is to see if she's contactable. So she is available to you. And
So succeed by 2.
she tells you there is an ambulance currently on the maintenance schedule. It is being serviced at what's an appropriate name?
A sick shop.
No, it is. The mechanic's name is Dr. Simon Tam.
You were like, I need more.
Dr. Simon Tam, vehicle doctor. She says, it will be there if you need it. But, yeah, bring it back.
We will.
Without bullet holes.
She didn't mention that.
We'll bring it back.
So we have a way in, and we have a means of disguising ourselves for when we're there.
That's still going to draw a lot of attention, I would think. Because anytime the ambulance is coming out, people are going to go, well, what's going on?
Of course, if we do pull up in the ambulance, it's an excuse to kick the door down.
Exactly. There would be no reason, it's like, hey, are you there? We got the phone call. We're coming in.
Okay, I see where you're coming from now.
So that gives us really a good excuse to get in the house. It's like, hey, that we received a phone call. There's an emergency here. We need to get in and find out what's going on.
Yeah, I'm processing the unintended consequences.
Somebody's going to be upset their ambulance got stolen.
Only if we return it on time. Then they won't be upset.
Well, I'm thinking about the mission itself. So he said he didn't want... He wants the info, and he wants them not to know it was stolen. So if somebody shows up, that may not trigger any suspicions in that regard specifically.
He would prefer that the break-in look like a standard B&E. You obviously leave the cyber deck, but take the information. That way he's not privy to the data that's been stolen.
Which, if they look into the ambulance and decide that it is in fact a fake, then that sort of serves that purpose, as long as they have no idea that the data was stolen.
Fair cover.
So that may actually work.
It's a pretty decent cover.
So let's do it. I'm
going to feel really uncomfortable not being in a proper suit, although I probably have a suit underneath it.
Yeah, you can wear whatever underneath your medical gear. So that gives us excuse to really get up right up to the front door. We basically knock on the door, nobody answers. We have the right to basically break in because we're there for an emergency. Maybe have a mannequin or something that as we bring in our gurney, maybe hide a mannequin or something, and as we're bringing it out.
Hey, talking about with the gurney, we just jam a couple pillows underneath it
too.
and
looks like
it in
a
there
body.
and then leave.
I don't know that we even need to go there. Honestly, we can just kick in the door and say, "Oops, wrong house," and leave. Now I'm thinking I'll probably put the deck in a crash kit or something.
The thing that does occur to me is as soon as we kick in the door, that's going to trigger the alarms and stuff like that. So
not if you disable them. You can still disable the alarms before you do it. It just means your visual visual appearance there is not going to set off any sort of warning bells.
Well, the other thing is, if we're also, the other aspect is if we're doing emergency, we might be able to call in and say, hey, we got an emergency at this house. We need the security turned off.
Do we want to
I don't know that it matters that the security is on or off. because an ambulance responding to an emergency is not going to be. They're not going to stop that. If security gets called, I mean, we're going to have to get in and get out fast, regardless of how we do it. So, at some point, Knight Errant will show up, but we should be on our way out.
And if we have our emergency lights on, they're not going to stop us. So
Maybe
we
not.
get in there, we
Probably
pretend we
not.
have a body, and we, speed on out. I like it. That gives us an excuse to get in there, break down the door, find it, get out. And we may be able to do that today before they get off work.
Uh-huh. Now, I think I will want to do something with the security because I don't want it seen that we're going after the computer.
So we'll have enough time to maybe
Just
get in
crash
there.
it.
Just crash
So
it.
probably just
put it
crash
on a loop
yeah.
or something.
Doesn't have to be fancy because, again, afterward they're going to figure out that, oh, those guys were here for B&E. In fact, we could actually steal some stuff.
And we can hide it in the body bag on the gurney.
Sure, this won't bite us in the ass. Let's do it. I'm really, really going. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like this.
All right, so
I have a terrible
someone
idea to know what's happened.
I
pick someone.
For the record, I do want to see if I can get a dummy Excalibur in case I can actually swap that out, because that will be way faster.
All right. It sounds reasonable that you can go find one, but it might have. You could probably 3D print one that is just looks like it.
That's true. Well, I know around here in real life there are places where you can go to get surplus old computer shit.
Yeah, but they're usually quite expensive. If they're operational, because they're now collector's pieces.
Right,
But
well,
if
I
they're
don't
not
care if it's
operational, we're not looking for
necessarily.
operational.
But I don't know that that's necessarily going to work.
All right, so
that's kind of a backup plan. So if we can find one, I'll get it.
All right, so you guys are all in a line. Someone step forward. Who wants to narrate how you get your ambulance?
The guy who wants to get the ambulance.
I'm the medical guy, so I'm the.
Yeah, it's his contact. It's his responsibility to narrate.
How are we getting your damned ambulance?
All right, Gorgo, tell us, how did you get your ambulance? How does that story unfold?
Let's see. I've already have previous background with dock wagons, so I probably have some old credentials. I'll probably get up there and be like, "Hey, I'm here to pick up the ambulance," and show my credentials, and then go with that. Or depending on what it looks like, if the ambulance is there and I know it's just out in the open, I'll just already in my gear and the ambulance, just go get in the car, ambulance, and drive off.
Yeah,
well, it doesn't have the keys. So the ambulance, when you get there, will be in the car park for this mechanic. The sign says, Dr. Simon Tan, car doctor, MD.
Yeah, if you flash your ID, you're going to tie yourself to the theft.
True. So what I'll do is I'll go out to Dr. Simon Tam and I'll be like, "Hey, doctor, I believe Claudia says the ambulance is ready for me to pick up."
Okay, you're telling this story. What's his response going to be? You tell us exactly how it unfolded and how it is you drive away with the ambulance.
So I'd go in, I'll be like, hey, Claudia told me that the ambulance is ready for pickup. I'm here to pick it up. Dr. Simon Tam is like, here's the keys. Everything's in there.
'Cause he's
Just bring it
totally
back.
paying attention to you.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's some brown-haired chick in coveralls over there.
So I would go and get the keys. I'll get in the ambulance, drive off, pick up the rest of the guys at back at the bar or wherever we set as a pickup point, and head off to the BD residence. And once we get up close, we would turn on our alarms and get up to the gate and say, hey, we got an emergency phone response from the BD residence. We're here to check in on it.
And it just so happens that there are, inside the ambulance is a spare set of uniforms because, EMTs like to have some spare clothes. They just happen to fit you guys.
That's convenient.
The name tags on them
lucky
says
was that.
Frost, Gorgo, Shard, and Frey. Go figure. What sort of coincidence is that?
This is not a good sign.
And I hear my sister snicker in my ear.
There's a photo dangling from the rearview mirror, and you swear it kind of looks like Frey. Just in an EMT's uniform.
Great. Now everybody's going to think I'm an EMT. No, wait. Everybody knows I'm not an EMT.
You return the ambulance, and there's a group of 4 people standing there talking to Dr. Simon Tam. Whoa. And they turn around, and you're like looking in a mirror.
You fools! You captured their doubles!
Yeah, what kind of universe reaction would that have to be? All right, so that's
called a use
That's how
of,
I would actually really, because with Claudia saying, hey, there's going to be an ambulance here, it's going to, go pick it up. Obviously, I think she's going to be connecting with Dr. Simon Tam and letting him know that someone's going to come.
No, she won't, because she doesn't want to. She doesn't want to be associated with it, so
okay.
She doesn't call ahead.
More of, I'd be like, hey, I believe that the ambulance is ready to be picked up. I would get the keys from Dr. Simon Tam. You'd be like, and that's it. It wouldn't be like I wouldn't make a big deal out of it.
All right, so he believes you, and you drive off. You have an ambulance with uniforms and name tags.
Sweet. So I pick up the rest of the guys, and we head off to the gate.
Okay, so you enter the code into the gate. The gate will open, and you will have access to the community. Are you going to
crash the stuff?
You're going to mess with the comms node to break comms?
Yes, we'd probably want to do that.
Yeah, I want to interrupt the CCTV at the very least.
Is that en route to the BD residence?
No, I'll do that beforehand.
Okay. Well,
Or
I'm
at
just saying,
least
if it
set
is
it
en
up and
route to
trigger
BD
it.
residence, it might give us if we paused or something, it wouldn't maybe look that.
All right, since this is Frost's thing, I'll give you the option. Do you want to handle this quick and dirty, or would you like to do it via console cowboy-ing?
Well, as much as we've not done that lately, it is kind of late, so let's quick and dirty that.
All right. It is a bad of -5.
Wow, that's pretty serious. Oh, that's interesting. Didn't notice that about Fantasy Grounds. I had a named modifier for bad that was set to -3, and I hit that, and I changed the penalty and it's still listed as bad.
Interesting.
Okay, so let's see. So hacking, I got that. And any other bonuses we can think of?
You can add your... actually, no. That's only for the Excalibur.
Yeah, I was thinking of that. Well, yeah. I'll probably be okay. I can actually take some time.
I've heard those words before.
What's the time limit or base time on hacking? Do you recall? Is that actually listed anywhere?
Normal hacking, like just tapping on the keyboard's hacking, is 1 hour. So we will say you know, pulling the panels off the comms node and messing with it, we'll say 5 minutes.
Well, I'll at least take a couple hours doing this ahead of time.
Okay, so you will access the community prior to the ambulance.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so give me a stealth roll. This will determine how sneaky you are and being unnoticed.
I'd have to walk up to it physically?
You will if you're going to splice into the actual node.
What? It's not in the Matrix?
Okay. Yes, it is in the Matrix. If you do it through the Matrix, the bad will be 5. If you do it at the node, then the bad will be less.
Where's the node? In
okay.
relation to the BD residents?
Well, in order for me to take the extra time, the whole time to do it, I will be doing it via the Matrix.
Okay. So, make your roll.
Here we go. Son of a bitch. It tried to screw me.
You succeeded.
Alright, so you have access to this node, and you will see the data lines that come from the BT residents. You are able to interfere with them, disable alarms, or at least disable the triggers, and loop any camera feeds.
Yeah, I'm not worried about being particularly fancy here and just kill them. I'm assuming they're going to know this was a robbery.
Alright, so you don't get fancy about it. You're just going to kill that feed.
Yep. In fact, I'll be kind of sloppy about it and give it a signature of somebody I don't like.
Okay. Alright, can I get perception rolls into the box, please?
Possibly.
That's never good.
I'm also going to be trying something here. Hold on. Never mind.
She used up her hacker essence screwing with you.
Possibly.
She will, she'll tell you that She's tired. Narrating your life this morning has been a drag.
She's still narrating.
And I can't quite figure out how she's developed a Australian accent.
He tries to contact his hacker sister.
But she's too busy watching the latest episode of Insert Game, our television show here.
She's too busy talking about her brother. Trying to contact her sister, who's too busy talking about contacting her brother.
Paradox!
And you get stuck in a narration paradox.
You know, that'd actually be good. It just occurs to me, that'd be a pretty good hacker name. Divide by 0.
I've actually used that, or was going to use that.
So, what did our rolls?
Okay.
Oh, right. And then if that was visual, I forgot to add the stupid +1 again. It might not have mattered. I don't know.
Probably
Now's
something
when
to do with
the,
the Usenet guy.
Now's when the company of orcs pop out of the house.
Or the house
Surprise!
explodes.
Wouldn't that be like a universe reaction roll or something?
Nope. That'd be the GM going, F you guys.
Alright, so you guys please choose someone, not Gorgo. Choose someone to narrate how the ambulance turns up at this place and how it is
Ethan!
that you gain entry.
Yeah,
Make
make
it
Ethan do it.
Oh no.
Crap.
You're volunteering.
Alright, so when you get there, there's obvious points of entry. There's the front door, there's back garage door, there's the back door, and there's a breezeway that connects the main house to the pool house. The front door is the most visible of all the doors.
Did you say poorhouse?
Pool house.
I swear I heard poorhouse. I'm like, what?
He said, well, it is now.
That's where they keep the poor people.
The place looks nice and locked up. You know that the security alarms have been disabled. There isn't obviously there's electronic locks on the front doors. However, you will notice that there is a window open upstairs that has been left open. So tell us, as the narrate the story as to how you guys enter this place, and tell us exactly what happens up until the point that you enter the building.
All right. Well, we'll be driving along down a Green Forest Road. Have the lights going. Probably a block or two before making it to the house, and I pull up to the driveway, and if that's a boat, then it looks like we'll have enough room to kind of come in and actually. Kind of come in and start to do a little bit of a turnaround. So that we can try to, oh, hey, that works. And trying to end with the ambulance at an angle with its back towards the front door.
Right.
And then essentially pile out the back, and then it's sort of just go on in.
So you go through the front door?
Yeah,
Not yet. You have to go to the door, and you have to bang on it a couple times, and when they don't respond, you check the door, and then we may have to kick it in.
Yeah, that's a better way of describing it than I was getting at. Yep.
EMTs! EMTs! No answer. Going in. Boot.
Not actually waiting for an answer.
All
We
right.
waited like 2 seconds for an answer.
Well, I like Paul's point. When we're shouting, it's like, we received your call. EMTs, open the door. We're coming in, and kick in the door. Boot to the head.
Okay, so you guys will kick the door in. It is a solid door. It takes a few attempts. I don't know if any of you have forced entry. You're welcome to roll. So, yes, you kick the door in, and it breaks the door, and you have access to the building. You step in, and you see a pretty nice, pretty nice setup. There are 3 floors to this building. So you enter into the, living room area. There's a lot of antique paintings and sculptures around the place. The furniture in this place is high-end, and so are the entertainment systems.
Hey, Frost, put up a spy eye, please, at the front.
Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna put one on the door looking out, and get 2 of them doing a search pattern through the house. Make sure there's no one else here.
Actually, why don't we take a 5-minute break? Just take a bio break, and we'll probably wrap it up after this, if that's okay with everyone, time-wise.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. So
you don't have a little bucket right there?
No, I should get one.
Let's
What
keep a
kind of GM are you?
Gatorade bottle or something.
I know, right?
So
Yeah,
are
they
we?
make
Of course, I say that, and I have a bathroom. 5 steps away from where my desk is.
No, they make those special bottle things for like private pilots.
Yeah, my bathroom likewise is also 5 steps from my office, but I can't piss that far. All right.
5 minutes. Hurry up.
Taking 5.
Roger.
Okay, we're back.
Huzzah.
Yay.
So we're in the house.
And there's
before
the
we
ninjas.
before we even start messing with having a fake let's steal some stuff, we need to accomplish the mission. So I think we need to move the study first, get the data, and then look at, let's take this and this and this and maybe tip this over.
That's reasonable.
Well, following the idea that we are EMTs, we're going to search for a patient first. So we're going to search all the rooms looking for an individual to save. That gives us
actually,
an
we're
excuse
not.
to search.
Actually, we're not pretending to be EMTs. We're pretending to be thieves, pretending to be EMTs.
Whoa!
But having said that, we did have a location for the computer. Yes.
The office.
Okay, and that is the
so
office.
go to
on
the
this
office
floor.
first.
Which one is the office?
The office is actually on the 3rd floor.
Oh. But we don't have a map for that.
That is kind of weird.
I can't see. Okay. Well, I'm just going to go straight for the map for the office then. And the 2 fly spies should go out ahead of me in the event there's somebody lurking around the corner. Oh man, that's totally what's going to happen. There's going to be another team in here.
You guessed it.
I think there's going to be another team.
No.
The house is
Did
going to,
that
you're going to
happen
find a
before?
bomb, or he's going to be dead.
No. No, the last time we did that, the other team was with us at the time.
Okay, so
And we didn't fight.
Frost, you're going straight to the
Yeah,
office.
I'm going with.
Frey, you go straight to the office. Gorgo and Shard, what are you doing?
Well, we're
Straight
going
to
to
the
be straight to the office too. Or
Yeah, you can at least cover 6 while we're in there. Now, who noticed the open window?
Shard.
And did he pass that along?
I would assume
Honestly,
so.
I don't know if I would have. I'm not the most tactically minded, and an open window on a residential house. I don't
Well,
really know
who
if that's
did? Okay,
noteworthy.
so GM, who noticed the open window?
It was Shard. Whether he, thought anything of it to mention it to you guys, that's entirely up to him.
Okay, well. At the very least, no, probably not, but yeah. Okay, moving on.
Okay, so the first thing you notice, place is expensive and it is immaculately cleaned. Or clean, not cleaned. It actually has a real working fireplace, which is something that you don't see. There's a whole lot of handcrafted carvings and a bunch of paintings line
Does it
the
seem like
walls.
it might have been just recently cleaned?
No, it's definitely they have a maid that comes in and cleans, or they're very clean people themselves.
That's what I'm thinking. Does it seem to have been like it just got cleaned? Like maybe the maid is still here.
Well, that's hard to say. You don't smell any cleaning products. The air smells fresh, and
I suspect if the maid was still here, she would have screamed something when the door got kicked in.
yes, fair call.
Frost has is a 1%er in his background. Is there a little too much stuff here? Too much expensive stuff for a house like this?
No. No, not at all. This guy is obviously well-to-do. Probably even old money.
But he's only status 1.
Well, that would be because of his position. Status is less important in the modern world than it was in a feudal society.
So with
And
the
who
spy eye,
knows go ahead.
so with the spy eye at the front door where we entered, we're going to head up to the stairs. Do we need anybody on the remaining on the ground floor?
Possibly not. The plan is not to be up here for very long, so
All right, so
once we get in there and assess the situation, we may redisperse.
So you will head into, or head upstairs, heading straight to the office. You will, your perception rolls. Gorgo. So, like the rest of the house, the office is really clean. It has, lots of timber, furniture, There's a bookcase with like legal books and old tomes that don't exist anymore. Everything's gone digital, but this guy has it. There is also a bunch of personal effects and obviously things that are sentimental value to this guy. You will see the computer on his desk is turned on. This is for everyone. See, the computer on his desk is turned on. However, Gorgo, you notice, you will notice this. There is blood splatters on the wall.
Dope.
You enter the room, you start, as you get into the room, you will see that there is a body in the chair. You spin the chair around and you can see D.A.
Norman
Beatty
Bates' mother.
is in the chair with double tap bullet wounds in his head.
Oh, it's a good thing we came in as EMTs. We're going to gather at the body and call it in.
Well, we could. Okay, EMTs now.
Gorgo, do you have diagnosis?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Your natural response would be to go feel for a pulse and all that sort of stuff.
With gloves on.
Of course.
So you feel for a pulse. He's obviously dead. You look him over, and you come to the realization that he has been dead for approximately 6 hours.
Which
Right, we're
would
blown.
be...
This is a setup. We're gonna have to go talk with dude. As soon as I see the body, I'm starting to scan the area for other forensic signs and also listening for what I'm expecting to be the inevitable sound of approaching sirens.
Okay.
Are we going to have a cons ops ending?
Oh, right, yeah.
The building explodes.
No, not that kind of cons ops ending. Cons ops, we always ended with the police sirens.
Okay, so Frey, you are scanning the area for other forensic stuff.
Yep.
And
I'm still going
Like,
for the
does it?
mission.
Like, can I tell if he was he moved here? Was he shot in the chair?
okay,
Is there any
you will.
indication of the-
You can see that he was definitely shot in the chair.
So he probably at least knew who it was, or they caught him by surprise.
By the blood splatters on the wall, and the fact that the chair was swiveled around, so he was like looking out the window or whatever. You can tell that he was shot. His chair was in the position facing the desk when he was shot. That is what the blood splatters tell you, and then whoever did it, or someone, has then turned the chair around so as anyone coming in through the door would not see that immediately that he'd been shot.
Is the computer still present?
It is indeed still present.
I'm gonna get to work. Even though we've probably been compromised, just in case. And it might be useful to us.
Okay, so you're going to start hacking it?
Yeah, I think my intention at this point is to attempt to make a copy of everything that's on it. And I will change that plan should the conditions warrant.
Alright, so everyone can make a hearing-based perception roll.
There it is. Man, I cannot freaking roll well for those.
Actually, mine's probably
This
a fail.
didn't need to be in the box. Why would it be a fail?
Because I'm attentive and I am working.
Okay, so Gorgo and Shard, while Frey is sciencing the place and Frost is occupied with the computer, you will hear the sound of sirens in the distance. You will also see out the window a drone sort of drop to a low, or sort of the level of the building itself, and it begins to pan around.
Damn it, I wish somebody had, if I had seen that.
Guys, drone, sirens coming in. Do we know about how far away?
You imagine you only have, minutes, if that.
Okay, so where is this drone?
Drive.
However,
Because if the drone's
Frey,
right there, Frey is probably gonna, go into combat mode, quick draw, shoot the damn drone. But you were about to say something.
alright, Frey, you guys have only been here for a very short time, and your experience with the police and like police response times and stuff like that, this is all too quick. They would not have.
This is a setup. We need to bail now.
They would not have a drone in the air responding before sort of physical units get there and stuff. That just doesn't happen.
So I'd be like,
it'd have to be a
Frost.
pretty
No,
remarkable
it's not possible.
coincidence.
Frost, just get the drive. We gotta go.
Yeah, just yoink it. Yoink the whole thing.
Okay. So you pull the cyber deck.
We're gonna just rush down, maybe grab a couple items on the way, and head back to the ambulance and siren our
I'm
way
not
out.
sure necessarily want to be in the ambulance because we're gonna have to go in. The drone's outside, so it's already seen the ambulance.
Yes.
Sorry, that was a question. I should have made it more clear.
Chances are it is. The drone has sort of dropped to the level of the building and is just basically doing a loop around the perimeter, obviously scanning.
Where is it?
Say roof height. You see it out the window. If you wish to shoot the drone, you can take a shot. It is going to be at, I imagine, 20 yards. So use the 20-yard range increment. And the size of the drone is going to be size modifier.
Oh, he hit it.
Never
No,
mind.
that's
Oh. Okay, make a roll, see if it matters.
What's the size mod?
So the size mod is going to be minus... The drone will be... 2 foot. So how big's that on the size mod table? Hang on.
-3? It's probably
Do you have the
about
table?
vitals. I'm just guessing. Although I can get the table pretty quick. Real quick. 2 feet, -3. Hey, good guess.
And all out attack, you get a +1, right?
Yeah, you can get a lot of stuff. Oh, that was the fast draw roll. Damn, that sucks.
No, it's fine. Still doing
Okay.
pretty
Anyway.
significant damage to it.
So the drone begins to spiral as it tries to, whoever's operating it is trying to maintain control, but eventually it comes down.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Get the drive. We're gonna race down, grab some items on the way, look like a burglary. And
Don't even bother with it. Yeah, this is a setup.
Yeah.
Just go.
All right, so you're heading down, rushing out. Gorgo, as you are exiting on the second floor, you will be running past what is the bathroom, and you can see someone is laying on the floor.
That's the wife. Well,
Are you
now we
stopping
know
to
why it's
investigate?
called assassination.
yes, I would stop to investigate if there's a body down. So I'd kind of everybody would see me
Well,
kind of
check it for pulse anyway.
Stop, and I'll do a diagnosis check.
Actually, you don't have thermal vision, do you? If anybody
No,
has thermal
do.
visions and the body's cold,
Well, I've got it's not thermal vision. It's
I would
actually
still
no.
listen. I'm a medic.
Roll your thing.
All right.
I got the hyperspectral goggles.
well, it won't take long to determine it's dead if it's dead.
All right, so you will feel for a pulse, and she is likewise dead, approximately 6 hours. Her wound is in the back of the head. Well, there's two wounds. One's in the back of the head, and one is in the shoulder. In the back.
All right,
okay.
She's dead. Let's go.
Idea. Since they are still here, that means their vehicles are still here.
Yeah, to the garage.
Go to the garage.
Take the car. Take their car.
Yeah,
were we
assuming
able
they
to
have
see any
enough
keys?
cars.
Were we able to see any keys on the way?
Give me a...
Talking about, we're going to get to the ground level, and the cops are going to be pulling in right there. So, and that's how Brian's going to end it, because that's totally a dick GM move.
The other option is we run out the back door towards the woods. The drone is
And
down,
take
so
the
we have
boat!
a chance. Not the boat.
Yeah, I don't think fleeing to the woods is going to work out.
It's a land boat. It's a sail barge.
Sweet.
So you're going to take the time to look for some keys?
No.
No, we're not going to
No.
take some time to look for trees.
We can look around. We can, because we're going to be going by the front. We're going to be going by the front door anyway, so we can check for the little key the key
Okay,
bowl.
so you will be
or
looking for
something.
keys. So give me a perception roll.
I am not looking for keys. I'm going straight to the ambulance.
Basically, it's gonna be like maybe perception -5. We're looking and passing as we're heading towards the ambulance.
Right. So give me a perception roll. All right. So Frost, you will see there is a set of keys on the wall next to the garage door.
Key fob.
Yep.
So quick
You're going to
decision.
hit the button. You're going to hit the button, and the entire garage is going to explode.
So, are you going to go for the keys?
Yeah.
All right. So you head into the garage with the keys, I guess.
Yeah.
Frey, you ignored that, and went straight for the ambulance. So you're at the ambulance.
Yep.
What's Gorgo and Shard doing?
Heading for the ambulance.
I'm gonna head for the ambulance too.
Okay. So you pile into the ambulance, or do you pile into the ambulance, or do you wait
Great
for
thing is, well, I'm getting
Frost?
into the ambulance. I'm planning on driving. I'm on, flip on the scanner because it's an ambulance, so it's going to have the emergency scanner.
All right. So there's two cars in the garage. One is a Eurocar Westwind, a 2072 model, and the other is a Jeep.
Take the Jeep that way, Daniel.
All right. The Eurocar Westwind is a sports car. Looks like a 2-seater.
You're
The-
totally stealing it, aren't you?
The Jeep looks to be geared up for like off-road, so maybe he uses it to tow his boat if he goes camping and stuff like that.
Yeah. What is the key responding to?
Well, it will
Does it
respond
have
to.
Does it have an alarm chirp or something?
It will respond to both. So, you just need to stand next to the car, and the same key operates both vehicles.
I'm
Fancy.
gonna.
Kind of like a Tesla, how you can get your phone to open the Tesla.
If Frey has gone for the ambulance, then I'm going for the sports car. Because obviously not everybody's going to pile into the same car now.
So 3 of us in the ambulance, 1 in the sports car. We're gonna book it out of there.
Oh,
All
well,
right,
somebody
so-
could have gone with me.
What was that?
Somebody
Is
could
anyone
have gone
going?
with me?
No one's going with them. The 3 of us went towards the ambulance. He went towards the
Because
garage.
he's the only one that really noticed the fob, and I was moving as fast as I can to the vehicle. So
Who's
it's like
driving?
going to be over the comms. I got a 12. I don't know if anybody's better.
I have a 12.
I have an 11.
I guess I'm driving.
So Frey is probably driving. He was probably the first one to the car. He's probably got the better movement. So he jumped in. The rest of it, I probably got in the side seat and Shards
Frost,
in
are
the
you
back.
coming? And then
As we see the garage door
open.
garage door starts opening. He's like, "Yeah."
And we go. Zoom.
Okay, so Frost, you stand next to the Westwind. You just need to grab the handle, and it will automatically open since you've got the key on your person.
It's gonna blow up.
You-
Garage is gonna blow up. I'm gonna lose a second character here.
You step into the vehicle. The seat will automatically adjust, but Frost, what's your strength?
My strength,
Yes.
11.
All right, so the seat will adjust a little cramped. So obviously
Right.
Okay.
the
Small guy.
DA is a little bit smaller than you.
One thing at a time.
And
Should be able to set it to factory settings.
are you going to take the time to do that?
It should just be a button push, I assume.
Well, there's a menu, touch screen display.
In other
Well,
words, this is taking time.
I'm gonna-
Everything he's asking you is taking time.
If you let me finish, I'm going to sync up with my neural jack, and I'm going to be controlling it via augmented reality. Mentally.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
If I recall, you do need to have a vehicle control rig to control.
I don't need to control the car. I just need to
Okay, so
control
you
the
just
computer.
syncing to the computer. Okay.
Yeah.
Give me a quick hacking roll.
Or would that be computer use?
It'll be hacking because you're trying to circumvent the, wireless network password sort of thing.
Yeah, okay.
So not a problem. You quickly do the things that you need to do, and you can access the vehicle. While you do that, you can adjust whatever settings you wish to adjust in the car.
Do it as we go.
So, the garage door will open, and you guys will see Frost beginning to pull out in a brand new, or almost brand new, Eurocar Westwind.
So noted. Okay, well,
Flashy car.
we're getting the hell out of Dodge.
I will lead
Initiating
them.
getting the hell out of nowhere, out of here.
Who's
I will
leading?
lead them on a merry chase.
Praise God. The ambulance should lead.
Alright, so Frey, you drive out of the driveway you drive to the end of the driveway. As you get to the very end, you look up the road, and you will see two knight-errant patrol cars rounding the corner with lights and sirens going.
Gonna have
You
to go
turn.
the other way.
You turn the opposite way, and the chase is on. Frost, you see the situation. You saw Frey turn to the right. You've got the police coming from the left. Where do you go?
I'll be going left.
So you head towards the police? Frey turned right.
You said Frey turned right. I got my direction screwed up. Yeah, I'm following that way. I'm planning on splitting off at some point there, but at least at this point I can cover up the plates.
Alright, so the two patrol vehicles will speed after you. One turns into the premises, the other maintains pursuit. And the chase is on. And that's where we leave it.
We're being chased in an ambulance. This isn't going to be very fast.
In an ambulance with a skill of 12.
Yep. I'm not a super awesome driver yet.
Well,
the
I'm
nice
not a
thing
super
is-
awesome driver either, but I got a better car.
Thing with sirens and lights, people get out of our way.
Well, we got
There is that.
mass on him. I might be able to, if he gets up here too close, I might have to do a force to cause him to crash.
Yes, unlike me, who will probably disintegrate if I try to pull something like that.
All right. Cool beans.
So
Gonna
2
chase next
points.
week.
And
Yes,
it
indeed.
Right.
it is abundantly clear to you that you may have been set up or framed. Or at least
Son of a
someone
bitch must say.
someone was here before you, but somehow the Knight Errant were tipped off because their response time to you is way too quick.
Yeah, see, if we don't clean this up, Claudia's gonna be pissed.
True. And I may lose my contact. Well, I'm going to
No,
use
other
my...
Claudia.
Oh, okay.
The real one.
Well, I'm going to use my 2 points.
I told you needed to rename her.
I'm going to use my 5 points. I'm going to pay off my secret. And basically, as I've been...
The DA was the one that was investigating whatever it was you were... That was the...
Maybe. But I'm going to pay off my secret. And basically, since I'm paying off my secret, and I've been wanting to do this for a while, I'm going to get away from selling drugs and become more of a street doc. And the idea is also the mafia knows how good my medical skills are. So they're going to realize my importance, and I'll actually become more of a medical doctor for them going forward.
That doesn't
so
always
it's,
work out either.
That's
What
still
No.
was
street
that?
doc, right?
What was that
What-
movie with David Duchovny and
Yeah. He's
yeah.
dead.
We'll fix it.
I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, the reason they don't get you to sell drugs anymore is because you're shit at that job.
true. Okay.
You've been
that
really
works.
bad at that job, and they go, "No, we just can't have you selling drugs anymore. You're not supposed to give the drugs away. You're supposed to take a profit."
And why is it that everybody that you sell drugs to don't seem to get addicted? We don't get it. What's going on?
So, yeah, no. We're not going to get you to sell drugs anymore. You and your sister or your daughter are sweet, as long as you medical us.
That's fine.
Yeah, you can just,
I'm okay
just
with that.
sort of, say maybe like you saved the life of the son
Yeah.
of the guy, and he's like, why are you wasting him with that?
That sounds fair. I'll
Yeah,
leave
that'll work.
I'll leave it up to
Because
you
I
how you
actually
want
am
to.
healer, higher purpose medic. It wouldn't matter who, as long I would try to heal you. My goal is to heal. And that's what I am. So, I mean, I got a 40 points in healer, so that's what I do.
Alrighty then. Well,
All right, so I get rid of my secret.
Yes,
I'm
indeed.
no longer selling drugs, but I'm now more of a street doctor. And eventually, my goal is to get my license back so it can be more credible. So I'm going to work out the social stigma next.
all right. I
Okay.
am gonna set up the time use sheet. I'm gonna do that right after I get out of here, so I don't forget.
Yeah, so you'll need to make sure, Brian, to update the thing on the boards that has whatever the dates and stuff are.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'll,
Okay, well, I'm gonna log off.
Alright, so any
out.
questions before we end the stream?
Nope.
Not yet.
Alright.
Wait, maybe I should improve my driving.
No.
Did you
No.
watch? You saw how an awesome driver he is.
Yeah, the real John Wick is a good driver.
I'm gonna have to improve my driving next week.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Cool.
Alright. Thanks, stream.
Starting out with a chase next week.
Night.